Hello there. Welcome back, one and all, to Monday Night Mayhem, hosted by me, KevranGames, and played by these awesome, cool folks around me here. This is week 2 of Once Upon a Rhyme, which is a homebrew 5th edition game where these cool folks are playing some fairy tale characters in sort of a dark twist on what we're used to seeing from said fairy tale characters. For those of you who joined us last time, we're going to recap for everybody else at home. But before we get into that, I want to say who we all are, what we're all about. That way you can know who these faces belong to. So I'm Kevin, as I said. I am here as the game master tonight, dungeon master, if you will. I am found on the socials at KevranGames. And I also am the host of the Game Night Heroes podcast, which is an audio podcast that tells stories like this. I love doing streaming, and this is really cool that Superior Adventurers Guild has taken the time to let me do this and share some time with you guys all. So thank you for tuning back in. Let's go ahead and let's introduce these cool players, shall we? First off, you know her as our lovable godmother, Beth. How are you this evening?
Hello, I am doing very well. I'm very excited to continue this story. I had so much fun last time, so this is going to be really good. I am on social media in various forms. Twitter, it's at Beth Masco. I think the same on Instagram as well. And I have been here living in Monday Night Mayhem for a little bit. So if you have any interest in going back to some of the other streams from Mondays, they were all really fun. So highly recommend them. But yeah, I'm playing Mare, one of many secret agent godmothers out there. We'll see what she gets into this time.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much for coming back. Good to have you here again. Next up, let's touch base with Rachel, who also has been in some other shows. She's coming back tonight as our favorite brassy mouth Goldie. How are you tonight, Rachel?
Hi, Kev. I'm doing great. My name's Rachel. I also go by Arya Galaxy. I am playing the Lightfoot Halfling Inquisitive Rogue Goldie. And I can be found at Carollo_Rachel on Twitter, at Carollo Rach on Instagram. I'm also on Discord whenever you want to chat with me. Feel free. I DM a few other games just for my friends, not live on streaming, but I have been in the Vaesen game before for Monday Night Mayhem, our Halloween special, with the lovely Beth Masco. And I'm super excited for episode 2 to see what shenanigans our characters get up to.
And shenanigans you shall, I'm sure. So awesome. Glad to have you back as well. So moving on over to the gentlemen who are kind of here and here. Javante, you know him as the awesome and stoic and powerful John Henry. Hi, Javante. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic, dealing with some nose goblins right now, but I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm Javante. You can find me on pretty much the one social media I have, which is my Twitter at Javante, J-H-E-V as in Victor, A-U-N-T-E. And I'm playing the proud and powerful Oath of Glory Paladin John Henry for episode 2 tonight, which is gonna be a good one, I can already feel.
Yes, there's an energy in the air, and I love it. I love it. Well, let's be sure that we line up those nose goblins. Is that what you said? Nose goblins, snot goblins. Let's beat them up too. So thanks. So thanks for being here, buddy. And finally, of course, last but not least, I should say, my good friend David, who is returning as the Piper. Hello, sir.
Well, hello. Hi, everybody. I am David, otherwise known as D&Devious in the Twitterverse for Devious Games. I am a cast member of Murder Hobo Incorporated, as well as I've worked with Kevin with Game Night Heroes, playtesting and playing some other systems and things like that. And yeah, tonight I will be playing the Piper, the mysterious minstrel from the darker side of the Fey realm. So yeah, nefarious reputation, but I don't know, there may be a little inkling or little glitter of a heart of gold in there. Don't
For
let
sure.
that fool you, though.
For sure. Yeah, we had a nice insight into your backstory last week, and it was pretty twisted indeed, in a good way, though. So if you did not catch the first episode, go check it out, because A, we want you to know the whole story, and B, let's give Superior Guild that extra viewership, okay? So anyway, yes, we are here tonight. We're going to jump into part 2, and this is going to be a good time. So let's do it, shall we?
All right.
So, quick recap before we dive in proper. Last time, we saw 4 heroes brought together in the realm of Alami. It is a land that many years ago, about 3 centuries to be exact, there was a great war and a rift that was forged between the Elven kingdoms and the human lands. The elves formed the Hedge, a dark and twisted forest nearly 1,000 miles long that bisects the continent and stops the 2 sides from interacting. During this time, they have developed these heroes from different walks of life, found themselves in Lor-Am-Main, the main capital city of the kingdoms to the south, the human lands. They were there tasked by the queen herself to actually seek out a cure for her daughter, who has been ailed with a strange magical sickness that has put her into a coma-like state, a sleeping beauty, as it were. They have decided to venture out. They have interacted with each other. They've had a little bit of a repertoire formed, and they've learned a little bit about themselves and about each other. And they have currently boarded onto one of the railroad lines that leads out of Lor-Am-Main to head towards Nordgrat, which is the city that is the final stop on the train rack, that is also going to be closest to the Hedge and the closest to a ancient library that Mare knew about, the Library of the Elders, which supposedly will hold a tome able to cure said princess. Before we dive back in with our heroes, however, let's visit about 10 days ago. Under cover of night, the main capital castle of Lor-Am-Main, in a room on the 2nd floor, the Princess Aurora was restless. She decided to awaken, rise from her bed, and partake in her favorite activity to make herself calm and ready for bed, to spin on her spinning wheel. When she proceeded to do this, she began to get frustrated with the fact that the spinning wheel was not cooperating the way that it typically would. It seemed something was off about it. So she went through the typical protocols of checking the wheel, checking the way that things are feeding to make sure everything is proper, and of course, checking the needle to make sure that it is able to properly fulfill its duty. The needle itself, however, had a dark and twisted bite in the night, and upon pricking her finger, she fell unconscious to the floor. And although it would be several hours when the morning arose that High Captain Albrecht would come to find her there was a figure who slipped into the cover of her room at night and approached the wall just to the right of the bed. This figure, doing gestures that had been lost to an ancient magic, ancient tongue, proceeded to inflect their will on the wall. Magic carved ancient runes that gave way to language made form. And in those words, it spoke, "Into time's hallowed pitch does vengeance rise, the mistress of death to claim her prize. From vaulted halls of script, page, and scroll, and book, creatures of lore follow whim made of crook, a lamb made of a sleeping beauty's plight, a crafter, a bear, a minstrel give flight. One of the mother's flock destiny seals, the travesty that marks traps sprungs of trust. 6 in 1 the realms of man shall be burned, to never renew love safely returned." And as those words are seen by us, a distant observer on this tale, tonight, once upon a time, we find these words inseared into the dreamlike state of Mare, who sits on the train. Now, being an elf, she doesn't sleep. She rather reflects upon her time in the waking hours. So it is strange that she has a dreamlike effect upon her. And Mare, you find these words. You can read them in your dream. and you awake with a start. Is there anything you would like to do with this knowledge that you currently have about what the rhyme speaks?
Yeah, I think I will take out my notebook and just sort of write everything down as I have learned it from this specific dream to maybe compare with what we had written down prior, just to see if there are any nuances that are different that, we can use. And I'll sort of look at the rest of the group and not wanting to wake anybody because we had a bit of a day.
Yep.
I think that I think she would just hold on to it and wait until everyone was awake to have a conversation.
Very well. So what I feel like it's apropos to ask at this time then is, Piper, you were the only party member who accurately received the rhyme because you could speak Sylvan, the ancient tongue it was written within. Did you write it down with an actual verbatim translation, or did you perhaps obscure some of the information therein?
I don't think obscure would be the term to use, but let's just say paraphrased a lot of it, just to get the points down. He had taken notes, but I mean, as far as verbatim, no.
Okay,
So.
Very good. So on the final day of your journey, when you are informed by the conductor of the train that the train will arrive in Nordgrad in just a few hours' time, you all come back together in the cart where you typically do to have little moments of reflection and research sharing. And the moment is yours. What would you all like to say and do?
Well, I hope that you all had a pleasant sleep. I do have something to share if everyone is properly awake at this point. I had a bit of a dream, I guess you could call it. But I saw the writing on the wall in the princess's room, but I could actually read it. I wrote down everything right after, just, to try to keep it at front of mind. Piper, will you look at it and see if, how it compares to what you had written?
Of course. And yes, I'll take Mayor's, I guess we say parchment or whatever notes.
Sure.
And since she had written it down in Sylvan for verbatim and all that, I mean, yeah, I will compare it to what I had written, which is, not quite everything that is detailed as Mayor had written. And I will summarily go through the original message, again, translating from Sylvan to Common.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's pretty easily able to see that it's exact. It's exactly what you saw before. There's nothing that's different. It seems to be that for whatever reason, the rhyme was revealed to her. So there's no strangeness here.
I beg to differ. This is all very strange.
Well, that's fair.
Huh. Well, if any of you have this a dream or vision or whatever it might be, I guess let us know.
Apparently, who wrote this was some kind of seer or vizier or something like that. So to be able to translate an omen like that, and I mean, I don't think somebody could have possibly known that the carnival would be in town that day, or Goldie would be, being Goldie, but it's, it just happens to be, in, that proximity to when John Henry steps off the train, and there you yourself, upon your arrival. I mean, that's, almost serendipitous, that we all arrive at the same time. So, but it's weird that we were expected. So this has to be somebody with some kind of portents or something like that. So
So
definitely someone capable of magic. So.
So now that it's written down in common and I can actually like take a look at the words, can I try to look for any pattern or possibly any clues like hidden within this rhyme or this text?
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, go ahead and let's call this an intelligence check. I know that's your favorite check to make, so.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at that. Just flat intelligence.
Sure.
That is only a 13.
Okay. You look through the message and you could tell that, yeah, it definitely is a style of prose that would basically be considered a poem, I guess you could say. It's written in a style called iambic pentameter that some strange bard in a different land uses to write plays. You don't remember his name. He's no one important. But you do know that it is arranged in couplets. Basically, the two lines will rhyme and the next ones don't, and vice, going down the line there. So it is several lines that seem to just basically be in a rhyme and be in a certain metered pitch to them. What you do notice that's interesting is it does mention that there is going to be a sleeping beauty, a lamb. Maybe this is a reference to like a sacrifice or something. It also makes mention of the fact that there is someone who was a crafter. If you could take these as symbols of a person or people, there's a crafter, a bear, and a minstrel that is joined by one of the mother's flock. So it does seem to perhaps line up with who the four of you are. So it definitely would seem that the Piper's onto something. It does seem like it's maybe a little bit of future seeing or something like that.
Okay, but from lamb, I basically get sacrifice vibes. Okay.
Yeah, so you would gather that basically what this is basically the general terminology of this is saying that there is going to be a mistress that has returned to make a sacrifice. If you put it into terms of what's going on with you currently, make a sacrifice of this princess, and that the four of you will quest out with that into. It does make mention of a trap that gets sprung. So who knows what that's about?
But you did use the term mistress, correct? Was that able to, like, for example, within Sylvan, like how masculine and feminine, whatever, gendered words and stuff like that? Sure. I guess that's what came through in Sylvan.
Yes, if you recall from last time, there was a certain way that it was referenced, and it made you think of the hags that have a tie to your backstory. So definitely, if it is the hag that has made you run afoul with dark magics, this could be pretty dangerous of a trap you are walking into here. But John Henry, what do you think about all of this? You are a man who might be a bit of a stranger to all this magic and weird ritual stuff. So what do you think about all this?
Yeah, John has just been like listening to this whole affair curiously. He is exceedingly a stranger to the ideas of magic and prophecy and things of that nature. Although he has been listening in it kind of intently and just pardon me for speaking up like this, but I think I speak for all of us when I say that there ain't no such thing as coincidence. Things never just happen because of random happenstance. There's always a reason why anything occurs. If something goes wrong at the workplace, it wasn't because of no random misplaced nail. That happened. Which means that whoever wrote this has to have had the thought that we were going to look at it. I could understand why somebody like Miss Mare and the Piper would be involved in such things, having abilities beyond mortal reckoning and all that. But as for me and Goldie, well, other than your inquisitive and detectorial nature, I can't rightly assume why they would want us.
I mean, I agree. I'm just kind of a street urchin with a bad office. And you two seem quite, I guess, regal. I'm not.
I wouldn't
Really,
necessarily go that far.
I wouldn't say
Like-
regal.
But you're both like, well clothed and like, I don't know. I'm just some person from the
Don't
street.
start. I saw what you were capable of when we were fighting those wolves, the two of you. It's unlike anything I've seen before. Very impressive. And I have a feeling that though you might not have, magical abilities like we have, I think that we'll find some surprises with what you're capable of along the way.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, Goldie, don't let this fool you. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that I am not human, or, the fact that I am with something like the Witchlight Carnival, I would simply just be some bard, probably busking on the streets, probably just like it was before we met. So, yeah, I wouldn't sell yourself short. I mean, we all have a part to play in this.
And
So-
Goldie, this is a uniform. This is not something that I would pick out for myself. I mean,
Right. But like, look at the stitching on that. Are you kidding me?
I know. Well, I'm pulling it off, but I had to ask specifically for pants as opposed to a skirt. It was totally impractical. But
Ugh, yeah, I hate dresses.
yeah. So I figure, just I'm a person who appreciates comfort, and this is a little restrictive. So don't be fooled.
John Henry glancing down at his essentially work uniform number 3 of the.
I'm still covered in like a few layers of mud from like when I fell in the courtyard. Like, oh yeah, we're totally the same.
Kindred spirits. I love it.
Piper, noticing this, looking at Goldie and all that, just kind of twinkles the fingers using prestidigitation, and just the dirt just goes away.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so Goldie, you're probably the cleanest
Goldie-
you've been in months at this point then.
Yeah, I don't like Goldie doesn't like that. So she's
Oh,
gonna go find some coal in the back. Make her hands dirty, and like it's probably not even real coal because this is like an extra dimensional train. So they just have like display coal from the good old days, and I just take some coal, put it on my hands, like rub it on my arms, and like put it on my eyes. I'm like, okay, that's better. Feels
Don't
better.
sweat it, Goldie. With a snap of the finger, I can make it all come back. So
No.
it's just-
You're like Pigpen from Charlie Brown. Just constantly dirty. I love it. All right. Yeah. So So at the outset of your conversation, you all revealing things to one another and trying to get an idea of what all you're dealing with. The train does come to a stop. It is gradual, and it is it's not abrupt. It's very calm and relaxing, I guess you could say. The journey has been the 2.5 days that you were promised it to be. So you're all fully rested. You feel better. You're able to do whatever sort of abilities you might have used last time. When you arrive, you come up to a small train station, I guess you could say, much smaller than the one that was in Loran, Maine, because Loran, Maine is a large metropolis type city, and this is a frontier type town, a village, I guess you could say, as opposed. There's some people around. It is a area that you find that there are, the difference between it and Loran, Maine is there are wooden houses here. Some of them have stone foundations, others do not. You see there's thatched roofs. There are a couple of taller buildings in the back that probably are more affluent members of the town. But as you come out of the train station, you begin to look around. You notice that more than one of the locals here give you all strange and cautious glances. It might seem that perhaps visitors aren't really that frequent here. As you all are fully disembarking, however, you do notice one thing that marks the entire area with a sense of foreboding, which is that in the distance, about 30 miles away, you see the large, imposing tree line of the hedge. It is towering, tall trees, hundreds of feet tall, and they are overgrown in such a way that you can't see anything into their depths. But even from this distance, you can feel the presence of the area. Both Mayor and Piper There is goose flesh that crawls up the back of your neck as you feel the presence of the hedge here. The magical nature within it is powerful magic that you don't even need to use spell work to determine is there. So you have arrived in Nordgrad, and you are seemingly 30-ish miles from your destination of the Library of the Elders. So is there anything you all would like to do? What specifically, how you want to go about seeking out what you seek?
Well, before getting off the train, Mare would absolutely put her hood back up again to try to be as inconspicuous as possible, knowing that being an elf over here isn't necessarily, the best thing, I guess. But then she'll follow along with the rest of the group.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Piper will use some hex magic to change his appearance, disguise self, to appear more human and more plainly clothed.
Okay.
So.
Yes. So the coloration of your clothing kind of dulls down into more browns and just plain colors as opposed to the reds and blacks that you had going. Your face paint seems to kind of flake away and disappear. Your hair gets a little bit less voluminous as well. And you seem to fit in. And
the witch's crown is no longer visible. So
yes, definitely. I think that probably caused some distress. Now, what's interesting, and I want to double check with. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just gonna.
Okay, I was just gonna ask, Mare, do you go to any sort of lengths to disguise your elven heritage?
Well, I don't have much that would really help me there. So I think I'll just, frankly, if people see me, they see me. And, I don't have time to really worry about it. But as opposed to, keeping my hood down and getting stopped consistently, I don't have time for that. So I'll just do that and hope for the best.
Okay. All right. So as the four of you walk further into the town closer to where you need to go, there is a group of several people nearby who notice you all approaching. And like I said, there's a little bit of an unease with everybody around here. There is a person who specifically sees you all, sees Mare, and their eyes go wide. All the color drains from their face. They look like they are terrified. Clearly, the reputation of the elves, which is kind of skewed after all of these centuries of not being intermingled with the human lands, is having an effect. They drop the basket that they have that's full of breads and apples and things of this nature, and they actually slowly and eventually then turn and in a quickened state move and run away. They actually run into somebody in the process. They start pointing, there's an elf, and they start kind of freaking out. And as they are running away, you notice that there is another individual off to the side. He's a tall, broad-shouldered guy. Looks like he's like a farmhand or something. He's definitely got that look of somebody who's earned his muscles. And he looks and he sees you all, and he says, well, I was not expecting strangers here in Nordgrad today. Well, you've got a strange composition there. A woman who looks like a child, an elf, and then he looks at you, John, and he says, and clearly a slave. What sort of lands do you come from?
Okay,
John-
I immediately don't like this guy.
John consciously loosens his body a little bit, but former, but working man now. As for the group here, we're just on our way to the library.
There's no libraries here you will find.
We know it's about a few miles north of here, which is passing through.
The only thing a few miles north of here is that damned hedge. Do you plan on traveling into the elven lands then? And he looks at you, Mare.
Listen here,
Accusatorily.
bucko. Our business is our own, and I don't look like a child, okay? So mind your business, okay? I'd
Are you
like to
trying to-
try to intimidate
I
him.
was just going to ask. You trying to intimidate this guy?
Can I help by just being an elf and walking up behind her with my arms crossed?
I think definitely with the fact that you are an elf walking up with your arms crossed, the fact that John Henry is standing up for himself, and Goldie's being brassy again. Yeah, I think definitely, you get advantage on this for sure.
Cool. That's gonna be an 18.
Oh, okay. He looks at you and he looks at the situation, and finally his gaze actually falls to Piper. He goes, "You be careful, friend." And he slowly turns and he walks off to the side. He does a couple of glances back at your group as he walks away. Now,
I pick up the apple that the lady dropped and I bite it angrily in his direction, just like.
Okay, it's a nice juicy apple, well grown.
Yeah, actually, this
it's
is really
tasty.
good. Does anyone want any of it?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
it's all
finish
still
it.
laying there. Yeah, you all can take it if you want. I mean, there was food on the train, so none of you were hungry per se. But
I
you
mostly did it for the effect, but like I don't want the apple to go to waste. So if someone will eat this, please, I would. Anyone?
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, here.
Nice.
She reaches way up to hand it
Uh-huh.
to you.
Yes.
Also,
Nice.
as that guy starts walking away, I want to use Druidcraft and make a really nasty skunk smell follow him. Just within
Okay.
range, until it goes out. But I didn't
Absolutely.
really care for him.
Yes, Mayor, you just very small gestures with your fingers, and yeah, there is a small little blue twinkle of light around the guy, and several people nearby are looking at you all, and as he passes, they kind of, if they realize that something's going on with him that he smells. Now, something that he mentioned that perhaps might have been something that you all noticed, he did refer to John Henry as a slave. Now, John, you and I, outside of stream, have discussed a little bit of the backstory that John Henry has. What sort of thoughts and memories fill you in this moment as he mentions that status that you once held?
John remembers very little of his childhood outside of the area that he grew up, which was close to the hedge as well, but much further south of here. He remembers having to work most of the day, tilling fields, hammering stone, anything that he was requested to do. He remembers lash sting, which he does refer to as few times. He remembers having to grow up strong. Outside of where he grew up, he doesn't know its name. He doesn't know his parents' names. He doesn't know. He only knows that the place he grew up in was warm. And he knows that he was not free to do as he pleased. He does remember being sold to work for the line company that built the planar train lines. And he remembers that at that point, that was as close to freedom as he got until the end of the line was completed and he finally earned his way to freedom by his legend growing.
Mm-hmm.
At the mention of that, of the memory of it, he does unconsciously reach back and kind of brush his hand along his shoulder blade where he still has a bit of the marking from one of the lashes. There's this moment of just like a motionless memory, and he just kind of shakes his head, shrugs it off. Well, anywhere you all want to stop first, or shall we get moving?
I
I don't
say
feel
let's-
particularly welcome here, so perhaps we just carry on.
All I have to say is if ignorance is bliss, that fellow is definitely the happiest man on earth. So
I think we should probably try to make our way out of town. But as we do, I would say that Goldie, even though she's never been to this place before,
Mhm.
she has this instinct to just like keep an eye out and make sure there's nobody she knows. It's almost like when you go near your hometown and you really don't want to run into anyone from high school.
Right.
You're just kind of like warily like around every grocery store corner. Like, God, I hope I don't run into anyone. So that's just like kind of on the forefront of her mind to make sure like they're not being followed by anyone she knows. Just as they're going through town.
Okay.
John Henry, do you wear overalls?
Yes.
Okay. Mare is going to, as we leave the scene of that confrontation, she'll druid craft a sunflower and stick it in the pocket of your overalls.
Just glances down at it and looks back to me. Much obliged. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right. So Goldie, as you begin to walk around, go ahead and make a perception test for me, please.
Okay, give me a second.
Of course.
I am.
You can even have 2 if you need them.
Is this perception check to spot a hidden creature or object?
Not technically. Why do you get a bonus for that? Or
I for detail. I can.
I will say, because under the circumstances of what exactly I'm entailing, I think it would apply.
Okay, cool.
It's like a hidden. Well, you'll see. I don't want to give it away.
Okay. Perception is going to be a 19.
Okay. As you are looking around, you notice that one of the buildings that's off of the main thoroughfare of the town, a little bit of a ways, looks like it's some sort of tavern of some sort. And something that you notice that stands out as kind of bizarre about it is there is the sign that hangs above the door, and it is attached to the sign is like attached to a bracket of sorts that's attached to the side of the wall. Directly below that, small enough that the casual observer wouldn't notice it, they would think it's just a regular marking of the wood. But you notice it because you know to look for such things. It is a series of lines that are crossed over each other and make what basically would best be conceived to your knowing eyes as a rough bean shape.
Shit.
What?
Goldie's kind of like muttering under her breath. So nobody freak out, but there may or may not be the presence of a very well-known gang leader in town that I happen to be acquainted with.
Oh, how so exactly? In a good way, in a bad way?
Oh, it's complicated, I guess would be the word that I would use. But I will say that we, no matter what, do not want to go into that tavern. Or if we do, we need to be really careful.
I'm not thirsty. We're good. Are you in trouble? Do you need help? While we're here, we could maybe, take care of some things for you.
Here's the thing. I've had a past. I've gotten mixed up with some interesting characters by no fault of my own. And I would just really prefer not to see those characters if I can.
Fair enough. I mean, we can just keep going and get out of here fast.
Yeah, if anyone sees anything bean related, just let me know. Even if it just looks like a vendor selling green beans or something, like just flag it for me. It would be great.
Okay.
I'm not going to question that, but I am going to pose a query here. As far as I remember, the library we're looking for is about, 30 miles from here?
I think so.
We intending to walk that? Because I know I can walk that, no problem. That's a long walk.
And I have very short legs.
Yeah, we'd be looking at 2 days, possibly.
Or should we try to get ourselves some horsepower transportation?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were
Great
given
idea.
funds to make this happen, so why not?
That's going to present a slight issue, I think.
Oh,
I don't rightly know where one could procure horses, but there is a place I do know of that would know where one could procure horses.
sure.
Flicks his thumb to the tavern.
Oh no.
Now, granted, I do have a bit of Southern charm to me. I could just go in and ask and then be on my way back out if you all prefer.
I think if I went in there, which I would absolutely be willing to do, but apparently,
Might cause a scene.
yeah, I think we should avoid that.
Well, there's two options here too.
Mhm.
You know, I could go in because I'm acquainted with these people, or I could hide and somebody else can do it, which personally I prefer because I'm feeling a little antisocial today. That's just me personally.
Today?
It has nothing to do with these people. I'm just,
Why don't we stay out here and John and maybe Piper even?
I would actually ask if Piper, you want to join me for that. I may have some charm to you, but
No. As a matter of fact, I was going to suggest it. I mean, I am an entertainer, and this is a tavern. I mean, it could be a bit. I could be a bit of a distraction for them.
I genuinely hate to miss this, but
maybe we
I
go
understand.
in. Maybe we go in like a little after, and we stealth, like we keep our hoods up and just get like a table in the corner where no one will see us.
I feel like that would absolutely work. Well, okay. I don't think they're right, but everyone says that they think you're a child initially. So maybe you would draw attention walking into a tavern.
I really don't understand why anybody thinks that. I'm
don't
a
either.
fully grown. I don't look
Yes.
anything like a child.
No,
You see, she
don't.
like kind of picks her nose for a second and then stops. I don't look anything like a child. It's ridiculous, honestly.
Not at all.
So yeah, we'll use that to our advantage.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
who's going to go in first? Who is going to go in second?
I will go in. I was assuming that me and Piper will go in first.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very good. The four of you approach, and gentlemen, you decide to go in first and kind of get an idea of what's going on inside the tavern before you are followed by the other two members of the party. And when the two of you enter within, you find that at this point it's, I'm going to say, late mid-morning. So let's say we'll call it like 11 hour time, and when you come in, you can see that there's only a few people in here. There is a barkeep behind the bar who's polishing something, as they do. You can also see that there is the individual who was so nice to you in the street is right inside the door, sitting at a stool, looking like he's maybe pouting a little bit. And when he sees the two of you walk in, he turns away from the door, like maybe he doesn't want to have anything else to do with you. The faint remnants of a skunky smell.
I was going to ask that.
Yes, he's not sure what's going on. But something else that you do note is that there is a gentleman sitting at the very back of the bar, and he is clearly watching the area. It would be nonchalant to people who aren't already kind of on edge like you all are now. But looks like you would maybe guess he's some sort of guard or something for the tavern, because he's watching the tavern with a sense of interest, but trying to look like he's not.
John will sidle up to the bar proper, kind of reaches into one of the pockets of the overall and make sure that he has coin on him. Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Well, for number one, and he's just gonna set down. He'll just set down 2 gold and just for my friend down there. Points to the gentleman that was looking away from us.
He looks at that gentleman. I think is a loose term, but he looks at him and then he looks to you and gives kind of a curious nod. He reaches over, he takes the coins. puts them in a pouch of some sort. And what'll it be? And he starts getting you some stuff.
I wasn't quite in the mood for imbibing. You want anything, friend? Looks over to Piper.
Piper will step up and he's saying, well, I believe my barkeep, the house drink, it'd be fine with us, whether it be ale, whether it be something from the vine. Yeah, I'm feeling a mite parched, so.
All right. And he reaches in and he takes a stein of some sort off of a shelf. Underneath the counter, you see he dips it into a barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of shakes it off.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Oh no.
bathtub gin.
Oh man.
Danger.
That is, oh boy. This is a northern town. That might be a hooch.
Yeah.
This is Goldie's kind of tavern right here.
Oh,
Not
boy.
a health code in sight.
Probably not. It probably still has like yeast floating on the top or something.
Do you two get a table or do you stay here at the bar? What's your intention here?
I'm gonna stay at the bar because I just want to ask him something, and if it leads to a longer conversation, we'll move to a table to finish our drink. But
Okay.
I actually just had a quick question for you. I'll probably order afterwards.
course,
My
okay.
friends and I are looking for a little bit of faster transportation out of town on a business venture, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Wondering if there was any way we could procure some horses, maybe a carriage, anything like that.
Yeah, we have things like that. How far you plan on going? There's not much outside of town.
About 30 miles.
Edge.
About 30 miles from here, give or take.
He gives you a look like maybe he understands what you're getting at. I don't think there's anybody who would be willing to let you borrow a horse and a carriage, but you can probably buy one since you won't be coming back.
That's more or less trust in us or less trust in the environment.
Well, if I understand what you're meaning to do there, nobody goes in that forest and returns, so not sure what I could expect to be telling you.
Fair enough. Who do you recommend that we try to procure some horses?
Oh, there's a couple of folk in town. Really, he gives you kind of a curious eye, and then he glances over to that guy who is in the back who's been watching the area. And I'll say that because of the way this is going, Piper, you would notice, I would say that John is conversing with the barkeep, but doesn't really look away.
Right.
But you see at the corner of your eye, Piper, that the guy at the table who you both pegged as a guard of some sort just gives
Yes.
a very minor nod to the barkeep. The barkeep goes, well, there's a man in town named Jack. He can help you with things like that.
Where can I find Jack?
Well, he'll be here later tonight if you want to meet with him.
I suppose that'd probably be the easiest option.
Who can I tell him is coming by?
Looks over to Piper. Shrugs. John Henry would be perfectly adequate for that.
John Henry. John Henry. That's funny. You got a name like that one fella who got killed in that weird battle some years ago.
Yeah, I've heard the same stories.
Hmm.
We'll say my ma had a bit of a flair for the dramatic.
Oh. Okay, then. He seems to just kind of drop it. Piper, this brings interest to you. You're not sure what this tale might be. And you know a lot of tales. You're a minstrel, so.
I do. And kind of lean to John Henry and it's just like, well, that's a story I'd like to hear someday.
I'll tell you once we get a table.
Sure.
Outside, Mare is looking to Goldie and just says, okay, so what is the trick to picking pockets? I mean, I feel like I've got quick hands, but Is there?
Yeah. I mean, your problem is that you're enormous. So like,
Thank you.
no, like you're super tall. So like anyone would see you coming, right? So you gotta like
Mhm.
find your niche of like not being seen. Like, how do you become invisible without actually being invisible? You know what I mean? Or actually,
Okay.
you have magic. So if you could literally be invisible, then, you know,
Well,
that would make it pretty easy. Because then it doesn't matter if they feel you in your pocket, like pickpocketing them because they
Boy.
can't see you. So that's what I would do.
I might stick to just not doing that. It
Yeah,
sounds-
no, I can. If you ever need a pocket pick, let me know. You know, I can.
I absolutely will.
Also, do you think it's been enough time? Should we like sneak in now, or should we just keep waiting?
Here's the thing. That is entirely your call. You seem a little shaken by the bean and what that means. So if
I'm laughing, not Goldie.
Yeah, right.
just it's up to you. I mean, we can certainly go in.
I'm great at stealth. How are you good at being sneaky or?
Sure.
Okay,
I'm okay.
gotcha. Then let's do it.
Okay. We'll just but when we open the door, they're gonna are we sneaking in through a window?
Yeah, I wonder if there's a. Can we check to see if there's like a back door?
Yeah, absolutely. The two of you want to walk around and see if there's a door in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do that stealthily, or do you just
Oh
mosey
yeah,
on back there?
I'm
Yeah.
very, very stealthy.
Okay. You're staying together, or you're having Goldie go first, or how are you planning to do this?
Come,
Oh yeah. I'll just go with you. That's great.
yeah,
okay.
come with me. Come with me.
Mhm.
Let's go ahead and have you both roll stealth checks, please.
Awesome. I got a natural
Wow.
18, which is a 23.
Okay.
Okay, so
Nice.
Mare takes one step forward, rolls her ankle, and then entirely just falls on the ground. I rolled a natural
no.
one
Oh,
Oh, no.
for a total of 3.
I
Oh
love it.
no.
Goldie looks at you and goes, "Maybe you should wait here."
I'll stay here. Thank you. Yep.
Just out of curiosity, how tall is Mare? If she's an elf, she's got to be somewhere between 6 foot or something.
I mean, she's tall and lithe, you know. I would say just brushing 6 feet. Very
Yeah,
casual.
you're definitely going to be a presence in a room. So.
Yeah. I'm realizing that.
So, Mayor, you stand off to the side. You kind of wait for a moment, and Goldie, you continue the rest of the way around the building. And when you do, you see that there is a man standing at a back door that goes into the interior. Now, I will mention just real quick, Piper and John, you did not see another door from where you were positioned inside. So this probably
Mhm.
goes to someplace else, but you don't necessarily know that. But just so the party has an idea of the building layout here.
Okay.
You go around to the back. You see there's a man standing by the back door. And as you were coming around the back, your stealth was a 23, you said? Okay.
Yes.
He doesn't seem to notice you. You do see, however, that he is standing there. He is leaning against the door, and he's looking down like he's maybe paging through some sort of small little book. And he has a familiar look to him, and you do recognize him. This is one of the members of the Beanstalk. This is one of Jack's guys.
Do I know which one?
Yes, this is going to be Tomas.
Tomas. I'm guessing Tomas doesn't like me very much.
Well, you tell me.
I feel like they probably tolerate me. So I probably won't make myself known to Tomas.
Okay.
I think Goldie thinks for a second. She's gonna pick up a rock and like throw it around the corner, see if it like distracts him to get him away from the door.
Oh, okay. Let's have you roll. It'll be your choice. You can do a perception. Excuse me, a deception, not perception. You can do a deception or a performance check to see how you kind of.
We'll do deception because
Okay.
I'm better at that. It's only an 11.
Okay, well that's all right. He rolled a 3
Hey!
plus, so it's lower than 11. So
Tomas, you simple bastard.
yeah, you toss a rock and he looks up and he puts a hand to his side where he's got a small little bandolier of knives for throwing, and he slowly slides one into his hands with a little bit of a flourish, and then he starts to stalk back towards that way, very intently looking in that direction. He walks forward about 15 feet, and then he stops, shrugs.
Yeah, I want
as
to.
he- go ahead. Okay.
Can I try to sneak up to the door before he does that, or no? Is it
Absolutely.
not enough time?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead and make another stealth test for me, please.
All right. Ooh, it's not good, guys. Not good. Do I still have an advantage from last time?
I believe
carry over?
reset. I believe they reset every.
I think they reset.
I could be mistaken.
Bummer. Okay, well then it's only a 9.
If I had been there, I could have cast inspiration.
That's true.
Wait. We've just been told they do carry over.
Oh, yep, they do.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to
All right.
use my
Okay,
advantage.
yes, then yes,
Yeah.
you do.
A little better. It's only a 14, but that's definitely better.
That is definitely better. And as he turns, he gets about part of the way there. He makes kind of a exaggerated kind of shrug motion, and then he stops and he turns like he's going to turn back to the door. And then his head looks back over his shoulder just slightly, and he takes that throwing knife and he pulls it back like he's going to throw it in the direction that you threw the rock. And right as he brings it back, without looking, he chucks it and it flies backwards. And
Whoa.
does a 16 hit you?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
As you are reaching for the door, the knife goes into your sleeve and pins your sleeve to the door.
Ah!
And then Tomas turns the rest of the way and he sees you. Was not expecting to see you here, darling.
Oh, don't darling me, Tomas.
Have you decided to come back and do a little bit of work for Jack?
No, this is purely a coincidence. I'm here on business. It has absolutely nothing to do with Jack.
And as your hand is stuck to the door opens.
Yeah, she's like doing a finger like this, but her hand is pinned.
And as the door opens, you see that there is a tall, lively built human man. He has long black hair slicked back away from his face. He has deep, piercing eyes that have a little bit of a menace and a little bit of a glow to them as well. He's got dark clothing that is studded leather with some very fanciful type of shoulder pads, I guess you could say. He does have something that stands out of note is on his left cheek, that same symbol that was carved into the front of the building. It is a stylized circular pattern of small rigid lines that looks like a bean shape has been carved into his face. Well, Goldie, I'm surprised to find you here.
How you doing, Jack, you handsome bastard?
Hello. And what do I owe the honor of your presence?
Well, I'm here on business. Nothing to do with you, except for we are trying to get to the hedge.
You're trying to go to the hedge.
Yeah. Can you unpin my arm? This is really uncomfortable.
I think I'll leave you right there for the moment. I know that you're a bit dangerous when left to your own devices.
Yeah, that's probably smart.
Why exactly are you traveling to the hedge?
Why do you need to know? If there's money in it for you, does it matter why?
So you are interested in doing business with me then?
I have a feeling that you're the only person that we can get horses from in this town.
Well, you would be correct on that. You always were the smartest and fairest of my troop, weren't you?
Yeah, you can save your compliments for some other broad.
I see you're not in your typical playful mood. And then he thinks for a minute and he goes, but yes, it is getting close upon the anniversary of the bear incident, isn't it?
You know, I'd rather not speak of the incident. But since you brought it up, technically, you know, I did you guys a favor, so maybe you can do me a favor.
What sort of favor do you need? Horses or something else?
Yeah, literally just horses. I already said that.
Well, that's no fun. Perhaps the deal can be sweetened, though, if you tell me what exactly it is that you want the horses for. You go into the hedge. What are you trying to bring back?
Can I make like a perception check to see like whether or not I should tell him?
What do you mean, like a perception check to see if you should tell him?
Or like insight, like what do I think he'll do with the information if
I see. Okay, yeah, make an insight check. Yeah, that'd be fine.
It's okay. It's only a 13.
Okay. All of your experiences with Jack, the leader of the Beanstalk, he is a very enterprising guy who is very much going to take advantage of any situation that he can. So if you tell him, he'll probably want some sort of way to get something out of it for him.
Okay, then I think what Goldie's going to do is she's going to try to fib. So part of the truth, but part not. So she'll say, I happen to have with me an elf, and we're trying to get her back on the other side. That's it.
An elf? Well, interesting you should say that. I happen to have a figure who arrived in this town 3 days hence, I believe. They were looking for an elf. It would seem that they're interested in purchasing one for some sort of dark purpose that I don't dare ask. That's not fun.
Nah, this one's not for sale. She's with me. But that's what we're trying to get to the hedge for. So, and they've got money. They've got like noble, like rich people money. So
I see.
Probably more than whatever those bastards are trying to pay you.
Interesting. Well, perhaps I'd like to meet your elven friend.
Do you really need to meet her though, or could we just like, you know, do the exchange and then be on our way? Because she's a good egg. I'd hate for you to corrupt her.
Well, because I like you so much, Goldie, I think I'll take you at your word this time. Let's go ahead and say that we can go ahead and enter into this business properly. Let me go ahead, and he reaches forward and he pulls that throwing dagger out, and it just seems to disappear. And when he opens his hand, it literally is gone.
Yeah.
Before he puts his hand down.
That old trick, yeah. Seen it 1,000 times. Yep.
He looks at you and he says, now, you wouldn't be trying to lead me on, would you? And there's a moment where the irises of his eyes flare a bright red.
What does he mean by lead me on, I guess?
That you're not that you're not lying to him. You're not trying to double cross him, something like that.
Gotcha. I wouldn't lie to you, Jack. You're too powerful, and I know you could, probably fuck me up. So this is the truth.
Well then, very well. I will get you what you need. Just you and the elf, or are there others as well?
There's 4 of us.
Very good. And he looks like maybe he's thinking about something. What else do I need to know? What else do you need?
That's it. And, I don't have the cash on me. They hold the cash, so.
Of course.
What I can do is it'd be intermediary. I can take this deal back to them, and then I can come back with the money.
I understand completely. Well, let's do this. There was a gentleman who I believe travels with you. He's being very surreptitious. He's got a disguise. The painting is a bit too much for the townsfolk, I would presume. He has a very illustrious looking flute that he carries. I would be willing to hold on to that as a payment until you return with my horses.
So you're looking for collateral now.
Of course.
I don't know if I can swing the flute, Jack.
Well, you don't need to swing it. You just need to give it to me.
No, I know. I don't know if I can convince them. I'm not going to actually swing it around. I mean, come on.
Well,
Okay,
I think you're good at convincing people. Maybe you can convince him.
Can I get your assurance that you won't, that you're not going to fuck this up for me?
Goldie, my love, and he actually boops you on the nose. If
God, I
you
hate
get
that.
me the flute of the Pied Piper, I'll be willing to give you any sort of trust that you want for this.
I don't need your trust. I just need you to keep your mouth shut.
Oh, yes. We wouldn't want to, what you did to those 3 bears to get out, would we?
Yeah.
And there's a bit of menace. His eyes flare again, and so does that scar on his cheekbone.
Yeah. I'll see what I can do, Jack. I'll ask them about the pipe. I mean the flute.
Very good. I will await your return. And he gives a nod, and Thomas at this point has approached back in behind you. I believe Tomas will follow behind at a regular pace to make sure there are no sort of strange shenanigans from that tall, brooding man that you brought with you.
No, no need. I mean, Tomas would just draw suspicion. Right?
I insist.
Okay, fine. And Goldie will walk off down the alleyway, and she'll flip him off over her shoulder
Okay.
as she walks away.
Okay. After a few moments, Mayor Goldie returns.
Gone a while. I was about to come find you. Is
Yeah.
everything okay?
No. It's
Oh.
the person that I really didn't want to see.
Yeah, you just saw him. Yeah.
Yeah. But good news. I convinced him to let us have some horses.
Okay.
Bad news. He wants a lot of money for them. And
Sure.
I think probably we should get the guys and talk it all through.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give all the money that I have. It's not much. It's what we all got, and then I don't know, a tiny bit of my own.
Yeah. I figure with what the queen gave us, we should be okay. There might be one other thing, because we're going to the hedge and people don't often return. He does want something to basically ensure that we'll bring the horses back.
Okay, beyond the
collateral.
money? Yeah.
You rent a boat and they're give us your
I've rented
adventuring
a lot of boats.
license.
Absolutely.
And we'll hang on to your adventuring license while you take the boat out in case anything happens.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I guess we just have to think of something that he might want, right?
Yeah. And maybe the guys will have a good idea for something that we could do.
Okay. Sure. Well, I mean, I guess let's go are you all right? I mean, you seem a little edgy.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. You see, she's kind of rubbing her wrist a little. She got a little scratch. And she's like, yeah, I just, I was not as stealthy as I thought I was going to be.
Same.
So.
I cannot judge you for that.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. It's crazy. Anyway, let's talk to the guys, don't you think?
Yeah. Let's do that.
Through gritted teeth.
Absolutely. Inside the tavern, the two of you are sitting at a table at this point, and you are, enjoying your drink, enjoying your time. The gentleman who is sitting in the back, who seems to be watching over everything, it continues to do that same little song and dance of pretending to be not paying attention. And as the two of you are sitting here, the long awkwardness kind of goes along for a bit. You see The ladies of the group enter into the front door. The guy at the table, he looks up and he notices the two of you walk in. He shifts in his seat slightly. The two of you notice.
I'm gonna do this at the guy that I yelled at on the street that smells like skunk.
And he kind of doesn't want to,
That's right.
just looks away.
Holds a hand up to both of you to let you know, like, yep, we're over here.
And the four of you reconvene.
Okay. Any luck on your end getting
Yeah,
horses?
how's it going in here?
Well, we're actually about to be waiting for the person that we can procure our horses from.
Yeah, so about that, I already talked to him. So
I didn't
You know,
it was the same guy. Okay.
I beat you to the punch on that one.
I'm curious. Would this happen to be Jack?
Yeah. Jack is, and I think Goldie will make a point now to like talk quietly.
Yeah.
So like she's not yelling this across the bar. She's trying to talk quietly just amongst themselves. And she's like, yeah, Jack is, he's the head of the gang here, and apparently he's going to be able to get us some horses. I was trying to sneak around the back and try to sneak in here so that we could watch you guys, like the plan. And I fucked up, and I got caught. And because Jack and I know each other from back in the day, I was able to talk to him about horses and stuff. So,
What's the price for the horses?
well, he wants money, obviously. And
Probably
then
all of our money.
probably quite a lot of the money.
Mhm.
And then, but he's the only guy in town, from what I can tell. And a little bit of a monopoly situation here. My nose starts bleeding because we don't know what that is in this world. And he does, however, want some kind of collateral, because if we're going to the hedge, some people don't return, and then he, doesn't get his horses back. So he wants something of ours that's valuable that we can, come back for once we return the horses.
Maybe I can like trick him into thinking that some boring thing that I'm carrying is like special because I'm an elf or whatever. And, it could be like a feather or something. And I could tell him it's magical, and, maybe he'll take it.
Yeah.
He seems like the kind of guy who would buy something under the guise of it being special, and then, a lot of people will get tricked, and then it turns out it is special. So like maybe it would work.
Maybe something more valuable, like something people have seen on us already, because people have seen us walking through the town. So what if we made like a decoy of Piper's flute or something and tried to give that to him?
That's a very specific thing that you're bringing up.
It looks
now.
so shiny.
Okay.
And like people know him, so maybe.
How do you propose that we create a decoy version of this incredibly special magical thing?
I don't know. I don't.
So, guys, what do you think about this that they're discussing?
I'm not even going to insight. I'm just going to look like, not to go, I'm just going to look at Piper. Just, So how important is that flute of yours, Piper?
Yeah, he's not getting the flute.
Yeah.
What? I mean, could we just talk to him and have him tell us, and then we'll say, no, we don't want to give the flutes? I mean, I feel like this is a lot of rigmarole for, we could just be direct and ask him, tell him how it is. He's one guy. We're four very strong and capable people, right? Like,
looks over to Goldie. Is he one guy?
No.
Yeah, that's about right.
He's like the head of he's the head of like a criminal organization. So
now, is he like well liked by them, or would we be doing the organization a favor by relieving them of perhaps somebody that isn't too great.
He's well feared.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of people loyal to him, and he knows a lot of secrets about people.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. That was a.
But what about your decoy idea? Make a feather look like
my decoy
a
idea.
flute.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I don't even have a feather. That was probably a poor example. I don't really. I travel light, so I don't have much. I have my wand that is also my sword and shield, and I don't think that it would be safe for me to, get rid of that, given, the everything of the situation.
What's your flute made of, Pat?
Nothing of this world.
Yeah.
What does it look like it's made of?
Silver.
John's going to stand up for a moment. Head back to the bar. There a blacksmith keep or anything of that nature? I can just find something. I have some repairs I got to do on my hammer.
Yeah, of course, we have something like that. It's down the road. It's about 3 buildings down over on the left side. There's a well just before that.
Much obliged. Head back to the table.
Sure.
I'm going to be right back. Gonna head over to where that is.
Do you want us to come with you? Do you want us
No, I got this one. Y'all just
okay.
enjoy your drinks.
Okay.
Goldie, I know he already left and he's gonna do the thing. Do you happen to know if the blacksmith maybe works under Jack? Is indebted to him in any way? Because this is a tight circle here, and I have a feeling that it might get out that we, not just you, are trying to deceive him. And
I don't know.
bad.
I haven't been to this town before. I know Jack from, back in the city.
Mm-hmm.
So this operation out here is unknown to me. But I think it's fair to assume that he has contacts in the city and here.
Oh, that bodes well.
So, John, you find yourself going down the road in the directions that the barkeep gave you, and it does in fact lead to a blacksmith shop. You hear the telltale signs of metal ringing on metal. You see the plume of smoke coming out of a chimney off to the side. And as you approach, the sounds get louder. You see that there is an individual inside who is working on something on an anvil. There's a fires roaring in behind them, and they see you approach and gives you a nod and looking for something there, friend.
That's just a familiar tune. Looking for something a little bit particular. I got a friend of mine who is quite the musician, and I was planning on giving him a gift for his wedding day. Would you happen to have a long piece of, I reckon, silver or something similar to silver by any regard?
Well, first off, congratulations to your friend are in order, and must be a man of money, and your friend must be very close with you if you're willing to spend money on a silver musical instrument. I have something that might work. And he actually goes over back in behind, and you see he pulls something out from a stack of some stuff. It's wrapped up in a cloth. He pulls it back over, he sets it down, and he starts to unwrap it. And when he unwraps it out of this leather that it's all wrapped up in, you can see that it's oiled and stuff within to keep it fresh and to keep it nice. It is a long, kind of looks like an ingot, but it's been semi-shaped because the one end of it looks like it's been snapped off of something. There's some scoring marks and a little bit of a melt look to it, like maybe something happened to it. Now you build stuff, so go ahead. Let's have you make a wisdom or an intelligence check, whatever you feel more comfortable making.
Let's see here. We'll go with intelligence since that's actually a stat I have plus in.
Okay.
That is a 18.
Okay. It definitely looks like it is a piece of silver that somehow the one end of it was shattered through. Basically, it looks like something really hot hit it, and then something else like broke it off. Something that's interesting to you, having the background that you do, having traveled into the extraplanar things and whatnot, and having returned, you see that it basically looks like it is material that has been somehow touched by the Fey realm. It is silver, and typically silver is harmful to Fey creatures, but this thing actually came from the Feywild.
Now that is absolutely a beautiful piece of material. I suppose you're not going to regale me with the tale of how you got it.
Interestingly enough, it was just here one day.
That do be interesting. What would you be willing to part with it for?
Oh, geez. Well, I don't know really how to work it, and I'm not really sure what you could even make out of it, but I mean, something that's regular silver like this, it would easily run you, because of the size, the shape, the density of it, it would easily run you 500 or 600 gold. Do you carry that much with you, friend? He says, kind of peeking an eyebrow. He's a little confused.
500 or 600 gold ain't exactly in the salary of a working man. But if you'd be willing to offer, I'd be willing to offer labor and toil for an amount of time for
You are a big guy. I think you probably could handle that hammer you got slung on your back there. I could use some help, to be honest. I've got a nearby merchant from a land who hired me to do some work, and wouldn't you know it, my blacksmithing apprentice up and quit on me about a week ago. So,
well, that's a downright shame.
Yeah, he went out. I sent him out to the well to get something, and he never came back. Look for that damn kid all over town. I can't really find him. So he really quit. I mean, he's up and out of here, I guess.
What would you like me to do there, sir?
I think I could think of a few things. And he kind of just starts looking around the shop and starts giving you ideas of things you can help with. So in this moment, what does everybody want to do to kind of get an idea of how the rest of the day will play out here?
Well, I feel like Mare is definitely trying her best to put a lot of hope and trust into plans that feel a little bit shaky to her.
Sure.
So I think she at this point is more apt to just go with the flow, and hopefully, things will work themselves out.
Okay. All right. How about you, Goldie?
I guess I wonder if there's like some place more private where we all could talk rather than like in the tavern that Jack owns. Because I assume we're at this point we're talking about coming back that night to talk to him. So maybe we go somewhere else and like take a picnic. I don't know. What do people do?
Yeah. The four of you find that basically trying to find a room to stay in is a little bit sketchy. It would seem that the reputation of you in here with an elf and somebody who's claiming to be John Henry, a figure who became a folk hero because he perished saving the land from an extraplanar threat of some sort. So everybody's kind of giving you guys a wide berth. Nobody's really all that interested in giving you guys any sort of rooms to stay in. So your time with that's kind of running out because you can camp out maybe, or maybe go back outside of the town or something. But nobody's really offering up any places to stay. The fact that you got the barkeep to be so helpful, and now apparently this blacksmith is really being helpful. is something. I think we would find that as John is helping the blacksmith do some things around, that maybe you all eventually kind of met back up there. There's probably an area in the back, like a backyard type of area that you all could maybe hang out in, and the blacksmith agrees that John's been doing some good work, and he kind of lets you all just go about your business.
Cool. Yeah, I guess we meet up with John Henry and maybe hang out in the back. I think Goldie would want to kind of sit down in the grass for a second and like let the mask drop. Like you can see she's like very exhausted all of a sudden just from like the interaction and everything. She seems quite deflated and worried.
Absolutely. And Piper, with this plan that's formulating, there is a weird tingling, that same feeling that you got when Mare first arrived in Loran, Maine. You have that same feeling, but it's stronger. It's coming from the direction of the hedge. There's something within, some sort of presence there that you can feel. Someone within the hedge is beckoning you specifically and your party by extension to arrive there, to come to them. The presence feels familiar. You can tell it is not the hag herself, but the presence is similar.
Okay. Well, with feeling this sensation, Piper's gonna steel himself a little bit, and as we walk outside, I mean, pretty much this plan that John Henry has is just like, this is highly unnecessary. So as I join the group and all that, I'll pull Mare to the side and I say, that sensation that we feel when we come into each other's presence, between Fae and I'm getting that sensation from the hedge, and I'll point directly to where it's coming from. And I just get the presence. Nothing has contacted me directly, but I'm just feeling like a beckoning call. So
Interesting.
Chances are something is watching us, and we probably don't want to dally too long here in the town.
I feel like we've already spent too much time here, just based on all of our interactions. Do you think, I don't know, is your gut telling you that going in that direction would be the right thing to do, or does it feel like you should steer clear?
I think this presence would probably follow us at any point of entry into the hedge. So
sure,
I don't think there's going to be any way to avoid it. So
we just try to be ready for it.
Oh yeah, we will. So if we go to the blacksmith shop, I'll check in with John Henry, and I'll say, John, I appreciate the initiative, man. I think I have an inclination of what you're trying to do, but if you're working around here, perhaps to earn more coin, but to come up with like I don't know, a sham replica or representation of my instrument, it's not worth it, my friend.
It's just this, he stretches back, and
it's greatly appreciated. But
from the level of work that he's been doing, he's probably like removed the straps from the overalls to get more momentum. And Piper, you can now see like fully from the back exposed. there is a
Mhm.
myriad of marks.
Yeah.
That's
And my heart
including,
goes out to John. 'Cause,
it's just
yeah.
lashing, but there's also what looks like a healed over hole
Oh, really?
from the back. And you can see when he turns that it's equal on the front. It's where his heart would have been. And he pulls the straps back on. It's a thought process, an idea. And one that, though I'm not exactly privy to the knowledge of how these things work, my gut tells me something. I've learned to rely on that.
Okay. I mean, if whatever your gut is telling you, I mean, I'll back your play.
This shouldn't take too long.
All right, then.
Tell the others
And-
not to worry so much.
Sure. And I'll ask the blacksmith if there's a mercantile in town.
Of course, he gives you directions to a small shop that's going to be down the street the other direction and kind of down a back passageway road area. So
Okay. Definitely. So I would make my way if anybody would care to come. Or you can hang out here with John. Yeah, I'm just gonna procure a couple of things from the local mercantile.
I think I'll stay around John just so he's not totally alone.
Right.
And you say, they worry too much. Goldie is visibly like worried and like pulling her hair and smoking and
Mare will hang back because as much as I would love to go and support you, I am problematic.
No, I understand. I am just offering. So
Also, Goldie here, and she'll reach into her cloak pocket and take out a small bottle of alcohol. I swiped this at the bar. I didn't. I bought it. I bought it from the bartender. I couldn't.
I was gonna
couldn't even
be
lie about
impressed,
it.
Mayor.
for a sec, Goldie's so impressed. And
No.
then she shrugs. She's like, yeah, that makes more sense though.
Yeah. Well, I got it either way, but you look like you could, stand to relax a little bit. So
Goldie takes the
Cheers.
drink and she takes a swig and she says, I'm, as much as everybody thinks of me, I'm really no thief. That's not my style. It's kind of,
oh.
it's a reputation. People assume that I'm a thief because I'm small and I'm, rude and sneaky, but mostly I sneak around for my business to investigate my cases. I don't steal things from people,
Yeah.
and if I do, it's like what you're saying, you swipe it, but you leave the money on the counter.
Yeah.
So, I'd like people to think that I'm tough and, I don't give a shit and I'll steal whatever, but it's not really what I do. All of my arrests have been drunken, disorderly, or, one time I got arrested just for, yelling curse words at a cop, which he deserved, by the way. But the whole incident thing, I'm not allowed to speak about it to anyone, but what I'll say is I'm no thief.
So if you're not a thief, which I can certainly agree with you there, what would you say you are? Just
on that note,
ooh,
we will cut back in to John very quickly.
yes.
John, you take the ingot and you take it over to the work area that you've been working on most of the day. You clear away some of the debris and everything of the metal that you've shaped and forged for the blacksmith here. And when you set it upon the area, it catches the light of the fire and it seems to have an unnatural glow to it, something that seems to also be familiar to you as well from seeing it in your travels in the other planes, across the plane or train line. And you reach into that part of yourself that still belongs there, that part of yourself that was lost the day that you basically died and before you returned. So specifically, what sort of memory do you have in this moment when you start to heat it and warm it and prepare it to be worked?
He lapses into memory of, he remembers that when his heart burst, he was standing, and he just remembers his eyes looking out at the hedge, the tree line. And for a moment, he could see a procession, carting with them what he viewed as his grave, his coffin. But the one that was seated upon it, who smiled to him, looked at the coffin and looked to him, just shook her head, said, "Not yet. You still have work to do." And as that memory continues to play and he watches the metal shape and reheat and just kind of looks to his hammer, just, how much longer?
You heft the hammer and you begin to shape the metal using the steam, the heat, the power of your body, the strength of your arm, and the trust that you have in that hammer that helped you rise up from being a slave to being a man respected amongst his peers, to being a working man who basically was called to give a sacrifice to save those around you, whether or not they wanted you to or not. As you begin to forge with the hammer and the sparks fly and the metal begins to take a different shape, your thoughts drift back to the procession, to that visage of this figure as she looked upon you and passed judgment and decided that you were not ready. This strange mistress that somehow looked at you and told you that it was not your time to pass on. You continue to forge the metal. You think about what is needed now. You think about the Princess Aurora back in Loran, Maine. You think of the Queen, how she, out of the four of you sent on this quest, asked for you specifically. You know that she brought this task to you because of the skills that you have, the strength that you have in your heart, as well as in your body. And you continue to forge the metal. And after a long, distant time where you seem to be outside of yourself, looking down as you form this metal into something different, you finally finish and you step back and look at what you've wrought out of this metal. And what you find is a beautiful, beautiful creation. Please roll a d20 for me, adding your proficiency bonus.
Okay, not as good as the last roll. That is a 16.
16?
With my proficiency, yeah, with my proficiency, that is a 16.
Okay. And when you look down upon the instrument that you've created, you know it's not able to be played because it didn't fully take on the form of a flute as was anticipated. Rather, this ingot shaped into a cylindrical shape, long, thin, a point at one end, an embellishment at the other. This instrument that you created, this instrument of death, this weapon, this strange, for lack of a better description, spear that now stands in front of you, you know was forged for a purpose. And in that moment, you see the eyes of that mistress as she looks at you from across the distant lands that separate you and from the Feywild that you were drawn into that day when you paid that sacrifice. And you know that the hedge calls to all of you. And let's take a quick break for everybody at home and for all of our players right now. We'll step back out of the story. We'll take a moment to just kind of wind down, let that sit for a moment. We will take a 5-minute break, as is our way to do things. But when we come back, we will get back into this, and our party will take the next steps necessary to travel into the hedge and continue this story that we're telling. So thank you all. Stick around. We'll see you in just a few moments. So. And welcome back, gentle viewer. Here we are back into part 2 of tonight's episode. And we are going to go ahead and dive right back in after a brief recap. So our party has found themselves in the town of Nordgrat, which is just south of the hedge, that ancient mystical forest that none dare return from. They have run afoul of Jack, leader of the Beanstalk, which is a kind of shady individual from Goldie's past. He has a little bit of a high price that he wants to have them pay due to this backstory that she has with him to use his horses, but they've attempted to make a forgery of what he wants. But the plot twisted a little bit as John, trying to forge said item, actually created some sort of spear-like weapon out of this strange, special fey-like silver. So we pick back up. I would believe it would be the next morning. I think the 4 of you have kind of camped out in behind the blacksmith shop, thinking about what all happened, and you all have come back together, and it is a new morning. It's a new day, and you do have the pressing matter ahead of you of getting to the hedge. You do know from your interactions with Princess Aurora that she has only a limited amount of time because the infection she has on her finger is spreading. So time is of the essence. There's also a strange pulling that you have felt since you have arrived in town, Piper. And Mare, over the course of the night, you've had strange feelings, almost like a paranoia that has plagued you, like a strange feeling like someone's been watching you or eavesdropping upon you and your members of your party. So as the morning comes up, the sky it's midsummer, but the sky comes up. It is a little bit overcast. It has a little bit of a sinister turn to it. So what would everybody like to do?
Well, I want to get out of here as soon as we possibly can, quite frankly. What is our plan now? We have a spear, which is very nice, John Henry, but I don't know that it'll pass for a flute.
Yeah, that thing's epic, but it is
super
enormous.
Cool.
Hadn't been my intention, but
I mean, sometimes the art leads the artist, you know? So, Goldie, what's the over-under on us being able to like steal horses and get out of here?
I mean, that's definitely possible. I'll be honest with you guys. You know, I was a little hazy yesterday with everything, and you know, it's a complicated situation with Jack. I should have just been forthright with you that, you know, he had asked for the flute rather than trying to think of like, oh, it's a good idea. Like, he knew we were here before we knew he was here. So we're being watched. And so that's my only concern about stealing the horses is, you know, for all we know, someone could be tailing us this entire time.
Okay.
And I do apologize, Piper. I should have just been straight with you. It was a very mind-bending kind of afternoon.
No apologies necessary, and this all tracks. Yeah, this is on brand. So not for you, but this type of individual that
wants the
yeah.
flute. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I guess our options are meet with Jack, give him the flute, meet with Jack, try to trick him that we're giving him something flute-like with like magic. I don't know what kind of magic you guys have. Or option 3, we steal the horses.
Give me a moment. I need to think on this for a second. And Mare is going, she knows that this is absolutely absurd and highly unlikely, but she's going to sit and pray to the matron for just a moment, and kind of just say, matron, I know that typically transformative magic doesn't come to us until, we retire from the warrior life and kind of just become fun godmothers. But we're in a bit of a pickle, and maybe if you could help us. I've heard stories of like pumpkins and carriages, and I don't know if that's a one-off or if that's something that you could maybe help us with, but I thought I would ask, because our alternative is like maybe stealing and getting embroiled with a gang. So just any insight that you could offer would be wonderful.
Interesting. Please make a charisma check for me.
Oh no. Okay. Just a straight up charisma roll?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, that's a 16.
Okay. You call out to the matron, to the mother, to give you guidance in this moment, perhaps to divine herself into here, to give you a way to get here without having to deal with Jack and the strange, nefarious purposes that he might have. And as you do this, there is a slight warm breeze that comes in from across the land. It cuts through this overcast morning, and you feel it wash over you. Your hair tingles and raises up for a moment from the flow of it. And in the breeze, you hear a distant matronly voice. Child, you may have passage that you require. Take heed. The Dark One's forces gather, and seek your quarry.
Okay. Thank you, matron, for this benevolent gift. And I'll just continue to do my job to the best of my ability. And I suppose I owe you one. So just whenever you want to call upon that, feel free. And I'll kind of head back to the group. Okay, I think we might have a solution here.
That's
I'm
great.
all ears.
Do tell.
Yeah. So I think I just did some praying, and I think perhaps my goddess will help us get to where we need to go. Yeah. I don't know how, but she said she would help us. Is there like a pumpkin anywhere? I don't know how to do this. This is
Does she like reach down with like a god hand and like pick us up and then like put us down 30 miles away or something?
yeah, like a claw machine.
Yeah, isn't that how magic works?
I'm down
Yes.
either way.
I mean,
Yeah.
that sounds fine.
Well, let me try something that I've heard of. It might be silly and stupid, but whatever. Is there any produce around?
Well,
What a
Pumpkins,
sentence.
apples, I don't know, a wicker basket even.
Sure.
Just anything.
Piper, you have something?
Yeah, Mayor, I know of the legend.
Great.
And I'm kind of figuring out what you want to do. So, with this assistance from your matron, and I mean, is this thing going to be self-propelled, or are you going to need something to draw it?
She said that she would help us get to where we need to go. So
Okay.
I presume that if it does need horses to draw it, she might help us acquire those.
Well, I can help you with that.
Oh, okay.
I am the piper.
You are the piper.
It
Why
works
did we
on
not
horses?
even think about that? Jeez.
The flute
She
works on
can-
horses?
No.
No?
I can
So it's
summon.
only very specific animals.
I can
then.
summon the rats that she can turn into horses. Should the matron
Incredible.
deem it?
Yeah,
Damn, this magic shit is weird, but I love it.
frankly, I'm still figuring it out. So this is very cool. Okay, I will either look around in our general vicinity, or I will ask Piper to maybe go into a store for me so that I don't cause a ruckus, and find whatever you'd like to travel in. Frankly,
I still have part of the apple that Goldie gave me, and I'm just gonna hold that up.
you know what? Yes, I'm going to
love
try
this.
it. And
I
I'm
love
going,
everything about this.
I'm going to like very delicately take what I now believe to be a holy vessel in half an eaten apple, and put it on the ground and just very seriously stand back.
Goldie's gonna point her hand crossbow at it just in case, because she doesn't know what's gonna happen.
I will pull my wand out of my sleeve, and I'll just like think really hard about the conversation I've had with my matron, and I will just point my wand at this half-eaten apple and hope for something to happen.
Absolutely. As you point the wand, the blue energy swirls around it, swirls around you as it comes out and it spirals through the air. It wraps around the apple, and you can feel magic come out of you. Part of your life force, I guess you could say, your magical capabilities comes out and empowers this moment. You do see this half-eaten apple starts to swell and grow, and it buffs up to what basically would be a small sled. It does still look like a half-eaten apple. It's carved out at the top, but you notice that as it's spread, the part of it that's been bitten out of has a deep furrow in it, almost like a canoe or something. It has an area where you all could sit within it, and it puffs up and it kind of like sways and swells for a moment before the magic flickers down around it. And it's got glitters and stuff all over it. It's very, it looks like a half-eaten apple, but it's still got a little bit of a fanciful look to it. The sun is hitting it and making it light up a little bit.
Well,
We're going to have to sacrifice one of your highest level spell slots, though.
let's go for it. I mean, we need to get where we're going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That works.
It's a little different than
Wow.
I envisioned it, but I suppose we can all sit in this apple. Let me
That's a sentence.
let me
And
just I know it's getting weirder
Well, that
every
just
day.
happened.
Let me just see. And I'm gonna get into the apple, and the whole time I'm like, it feels silly, but sure.
Mhm.
It smells great. It smells like very crisp.
I feel like that won't last very long, and we're gonna have to sit on it, so we'll deal with that. But I want to sit in it, and then I just want to think about it moving and see if that does anything, or if we need to summon the rats.
Mhm. You think upon it moving as you sit within it, and it does smell good. It smells like warm freshly baked apple pie, a little bit of a Christmas holiday type of scent wafts over your senses. And as you sit there, you think about it moving, you think about willing it to move, the matron blessing it, pushing it. And as that happens, you feel that warm breeze flow over you again. And there was a very distant laugh on the wind that passes by, and the apple doesn't move.
Doesn't move.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that was silly. Okay. Piper, we're gonna
Mhm.
need a few of your best rats.
Okay.
That was also that was also a sentence.
Mayor,
He's gonna sit down.
Mayor, just double checking, like, you have enough magic for.
I have no idea. This
Okay.
is nothing that I've ever done before. I can't even comprehend an apple. Just
Yeah.
so I'm gonna try. All we can do is try,
Mhm.
That's
or
fair.
we can rob Jack, and that seems like an ill-advised option.
While we were camped over at the blacksmiths,
Yes.
yeah, Piper wanted to go to the mercantile, so I would
Oh,
say
yeah.
that happened, and
Definitely,
Piper
definitely.
got what he wanted. So,
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, he went to the dry goods section.
Alrighty. Excellent.
So-
Excellent.
So yeah.
So you are here, and you pull out that flute that the all the consternation was about yesterday, and
Mhm.
you begin to play. So if you could go
Mhm.
ahead and make a performance check for me.
Okay.
What
Yeah,
song
let's-
do you play for rats? Is there like a specific one that's best for luring them?
Oh yeah,
It's a great.
Three
question.
Blind Mice.
Nice.
Mhm, mhm.
It's also a blindness, deafness spell. It's just
Yeah,
both.
right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I might be a little rusty on the tune. I rolled a 13.
A 13. Okay.
Mhm.
And you begin to play. You do have an advantage still
Mhm.
if you want.
I
to
can
use it.
also
Or
inspire
you can-
too.
Yeah, or you can stick with the 13.
Let's go with the advantage.
Okay. Can't hurt, right?
Can't hurt. Worst comes to worst, I can inspire. Okay, much better. 17 plus 7, 24.
Oh,
So
okay.
I get the tune.
Yes. Yeah, you start to play, and oh no, that's the wrong key. You adjust your fingers, you begin to play again, and this time it's a beautiful, nicely played, very well picked Three Blind Mice with a little bit of a flourish added onto it as
You know,
well.
little jazz flute going, you know.
Definitely,
So-
definitely. And as you begin to play, all of the rest of you notice that the sound carries out further than it should. It seems to permeate the town, and you can start to see small furry shapes coming out of different nooks and crannies and out from underneath houses. Piper, if you please could roll a percentage roll for me.
Okay. Because, you know, my history with percentage rolls, Kevin.
Yeah.
Is it good or bad history?
Oh, let's just say it's mixed.
Yes.
Okay, I am horrible with reading percentage dice. So,
Okay.
like on the actual percentage, it's 0, 0, and I
Okay.
rolled an 8.
Okay. So that is an 8.
Okay.
So that's low, but that's okay. You
Which
begin
might
to
be a
play,
good thing.
and as you begin to play, 8 different rats come out from different areas, and they start to surround the carriage. And as you continue to play, they move out to the front of the carriage and line up these 8 different mice in a row directly in front of the carriage. And as they stand there, these strange reins start to emerge out of the front of this carriage and go down. Little harnesses appear on the mice as they begin to get a little bit bigger. And as they begin to swell and get bigger, you see that they actually turn into reindeer that have harnesses, and they have straps coming off that lead to the cart that now basically looks like a giant apple sleigh, I guess you could say.
So the rat's got a facelift, but the apple just stays half of an apple canoe.
Literally slay.
Yeah. Oh no.
SLEIG.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got to make it fun because the holidays are
they're
this
here.
is time of
True.
year. So
So yeah,
There's this just moment as John is just watching all of this happen, and then just looks over to the Piper and just magic makes no sense.
right.
it never does, my friend.
I agree with you on that one.
Yes, and all four of you climb into the sleigh, and you are ready to go.
Oh, you guys, I have a really good idea. You see, Goldie takes out one of her daggers. She like cuts off like a small piece of one of her golden locks. She ties it to a crossbow bolt, and she's like, "Drive past the tavern."
Oh no.
And I want to try to shoot it right at the bean carved on the
Yes.
outside of the
Oh.
tavern
Yes.
as
Excellent.
a message.
Excellent.
Do you
I'll
want to
do
be?
one better, Goldie, because I had an answer for Jack. And I reach out, and it's this multicolored pouch. And I present it to Goldie. I think you should leave this at the bar.
What is it?
Shake it.
I should shake it or I should not shake it?
Yeah, shake it. Go ahead.
Okay, I shake it.
Sounds like beans. That's Jack's payment.
Just beans?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's gonna hate that.
Of course he is.
Mayor, do you want to drive or do you want me to?
We don't have to do it, but I'm just saying.
No, I love it.
That was my answer for the flute.
The question
Yes.
is, do we want to do it as like a drive-by, or should I go in there and like make a statement?
We need to absolutely do this as a drive-by.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it as a drive-by.
I don't know how fast these reindeer rats can go, so
I
Hey.
still want to go with my plan to like shoot a crossbow. So I'll just like pin it the bag to the outside of the tavern.
Absolutely. I think there were so many clips that we're going to get out of this episode for
Oh yeah.
SAG, so I'll be
My
ready for that.
gosh.
But yeah, absolutely. So as you all start to say, who is leading the team? So to
well,
speak?
that's a good question. Can we sit like 2 by 2, or is it just a line of us?
I would say it's like a line of you, kind of like a bobsled being pulled by some reindeer.
Yeah.
That'll work.
I'm good with animals, but also Piper, like you do what you do.
Mhm.
I don't. Whoever wants it, just have at it.
Okay. I'm going to rally up the troops. I'm going to inspect the reindeer. And I'm going to give this inspiring speech to the reindeers themselves. And
On Dasher, on Dancer.
a dancer. Yeah, I
We
start
have
naming
8.
them. Yeah, there's 8.
Wow, how did you
And-
just come up with these names on the fly? It's amazing.
Hey, I'm a bard.
Right.
Yeah, I take out some oats and that I had, because it's a component, and yeah, I cast animal friendship.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, you could feel that the reindeer, they're very calm. They love your presence here. They are ready to lead the 4 of you onto the next step of your journey. And so as you take up the reins, Mare, and you all start to head on out, you do, in fact, go right by the front of the tavern. Goldie, go ahead and make a shot for me.
Can I get help because the Piper gave me the beans?
Yeah, I will give
Yeah,
you
sure.
inspiration, so you have 1d6 to use.
Nice.
Okay. That is it just an attack roll?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even need the inspiration. That's going to be a 23.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Okay.
goodness. Yeah. You fire and you hit that bean carved onto the wood by the door right in the center. The
Yes.
golden hair flops for a moment before resting in place, and that bean bag falls and lands at the foot of it. And as you all are pulling out of the outskirts of town, you see that barkeep come out, looks down, looks confused. That man who was watching while not watching in the back, comes out, reaches down, snatches up the bag, looks up and sees you all leaving, and his eyes squint in frustration, and you all head on out of town.
Yeah.
The journey of 30 miles is typically going to take a very long time. Even with a carriage, realistically, a day and a half, 2 days maybe. But as you find yourselves moving along, you find that the reindeer move very quickly, very expediently. You find yourselves covering the distance of the land rather quickly. And as you go, you start to gain more speed and more traction until eventually you find yourselves that 30-mile distance is covered in just a couple of hours. It's basically just before midday when you arrive on the edge of the hedge line. And again, it is tall. It's extremely tall at this point. Hundreds of feet tall of thick brambles and thorn and brush, all intergrown amongst themselves. It almost looks like there's not spaces between all the trees here. It just looks like one giant, massive growth that is here. But as you approach, you all get there, you see that the reindeer start to shrink down to a regular size, and the rats, as they realize what has happened and everything, they give you a little bit of a reaction, Piper, and they scurry off into parts unknown.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Right. And yes, and after a few minutes after you all pile out, you are left with a half-eaten apple that as you step out of it, it seems to very quickly rot and wither away and turn into a mushy goo on the ground.
Well, I don't think I want to travel any other way from now on.
That was fantastic. I'm not
I
gonna lie.
mean, I would probably travel a different way, but
I mean, it was quick.
still cool. It still worked.
It
Wow.
worked well.
And we didn't have to deal with Jack.
That is true. Okay.
Well, maybe you don't, but I have a feeling I'm going to have to deal with him one day.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Due to the close proximity that you all have to the hedge at this point, deep within you, Piper, the feeling of something calling to you here is stronger still. It feels like just past the tree line, there is a figure or a presence watching you all approach. Mayor, that same strange paranoia that you had last night as your companions slept is stronger here as well. And Goldie, you seem to be the only one who's not afflicted by this strange feeling, perhaps because your thoughts are back in town. You're not sure. Because, John, as you carry this strange spear that you have tucked into your belt, as well as your hammer slung over one shoulder, you recall back to that figure's eyes looking at you while you built the spear, watching you as you were pulled back from the brink of death those years ago. And you feel those eyes gazing upon you again. As the four of you stand here, this impassable thicket in front of you, you see slowly starts to unlace itself and pull apart, revealing a dark underbrush beneath. Shadow and gloom are within here, almost as if out here it is midday and the sun is high in the sky, but within it is black as night. There are strange motes of light that you can see in the distance within that start to dance and move around.
Well, this isn't ominous at all.
Are you
Yeah.
also feeling a little squicky about all of this?
Very much so.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys talking about. I feel fine.
The part that's horrifying is it's familiar.
Yeah. A little too familiar.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can agree on that.
Well, for
one.
me personally, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's something or someone that I know as far as this presence goes.
Well, I say let's get in there and find out what it is, because whatever it is, I think we can take it. We just turned a rat into a reindeer. I think we can take an ominous presence.
Just in case. And I'm going to pull the sledgehammer free and just grip onto it tight. And I'm going to head in first.
Okay. John, you head into the gloom first, and as you do, as you step within, you feel like you're stepping into a distant area. It almost feels like you've stepped past this material plane and into something else as you feel yourself move within to underneath the growth. Please make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, good.
I'll be right behind him.
Okay.
I love wisdom saves. I'm so good at those. Oh, actually, I am. Why am I lying? No, I'm not. That's a 10.
A 10. Okay. Goldie, you are right behind him. You feel this same feeling as you walk within, maybe not as pronounced as he does, but there is a strange gloom in here that starts to oppress upon you. You feel more tired than you should just walking through an opening in some trees. Please make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Is this against being frightened, or is it more like a sleepiness?
It's like a you feel kind of exhausted, fatigued, drained.
Okay. That's a 13.
A 13. Okay. I'll get to what happens with those results in just a moment. What does everybody else do?
I'm gonna follow, but after we get through, I'm gonna instruct everyone. It's just like, whomever you meet in here, you make no bargains, you accept no gifts, don't even offer any. This is a place that you don't want to do that.
Okay, good to know. I will have my wand out, ready to either do magic-y things or turn into my sword and shield if needed, but I don't want to be outwardly aggressive like that. I don't want to, I don't know, have the forest get mad at me. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Piper, do you go last, or is it you and then Mare is last?
I think I would go last, just to,
Okay.
you
Sure? Okay.
trio. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Piper, please make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no.
Okay. All right. And let's see. What is my modifier? Is it wisdom? Okay.
Yes.
I only got a +1 for that. So the total is 17.
Okay. And Mare, as you come in last, please make one as well.
Okay. Wisdom save. That is an 18.
Okay.
Is this considered like being charmed in any specific way?
No, it's just
No, okay.
a debilitating effect, basically.
Sure. Okay.
So as you all step within and you feel this strange oppression come upon you, you're going to have John Henry and Goldie feel its effects the most because they did not pass the save. You both are going to take 1 level of exhaustion. This is going to give you disadvantage on all ability checks until that is cured or relieved somehow. But Piper and Mare, you are both okay because you did pass. And luckily, nobody got a natural 1 because then you would have had really bad stuff happen. But that's a tale for another time. So you all are now within the hedge. As you step just a further bit in after Piper gives his warning, you see the light behind you of the open area starts to dwindle as the growth slowly comes in to seal off and leave you within the dark gloom. And as you look around, that strange dusk-like lighting is all around everything. The trees and the growth and the shrubs in here almost seem to be black. Maybe it's a trick of the light. You hope it's a trick of the light. And there seems to be no sounds in here. Like normally there would be sounds in a forest, things moving underneath brush or crickets or birds or something. All of that type of sound doesn't permeate in here.
Can everybody see okay? I can create some light if we need it.
I mean,
it ain't too dark yet, but light might be helpful.
Sure. And I'll just on the end of my wand, I'll use the light cantrip and just have that go like a little flashlight.
Absolutely. And you all continue to move forward with that little bit of light. It is slightly muffled, like maybe a lantern with a hood slightly closed, but it's enough to get you all where you're going. So you all travel further into the hedge. Now, Mayor, you had an idea of where the Library of the Elders was before because you had heard of it. And Piper, you have a strange feeling that's driving you off towards the northeasterly section that would lead you closer to the area. So the two of you, I think, step forward and try to take the lead in this moment. And as you do, what is everybody's passive perceptions, please?
15.
14.
And
10?
13 for Piper.
Okay. As you go in there, Goldie and Mare, you hear skitterings of something off to the side, like something is moving in the brush. This is different than animals. This sounds like something else, something slightly larger. And as you turn or seem to realize that it's there, the sound instantly stops.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I'd like to try to like scout ahead to try to see what this is and be stealthy.
Just be careful.
Before
I'll be
you
careful.
go, Piper pulls out a silver dagger and he takes some of his hair and kind of twists it into a braid real quick, pretty quick, braid, and cuts it, and the hair turns silver in its place, and he puts it around Goldie's wrists, and it seals itself back up. And it said, "This is a token." It's just like, we are connected for at least 10 miles. So don't lose this.
Aye. Won't lose it.
It's the Hexborn Eerie token. So
yeah,
I wasn't going to give her a tooth or a nail or something like that.
Yeah,
but
I think hair will work just fine for this. Yeah.
When you contact me. I mean, I will go into a trance, but I will hear and see everything that you see.
Piper, didn't you say I shouldn't accept any gifts from anyone in this forest?
Except me.
Except you.
It's not a gift. It's a loan. Here we go.
I know. I'm just teasing you. I put it on. All right.
And you see Piper's hair just kind of grows back to the length that it was.
Goldie touches the piece of hair that she cut off and it has not grown back.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Damn it.
All right, so Goldie, you said you wanted to sneak ahead and see maybe what those sounds were.
Yes.
Okay.
Although I am doing my ability check with disadvantage, so would that be stealth?
It would be stealth at disadvantage.
Well, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, still great. That's a natural 15, which is a dirty 20.
Okay.
Nice.
Very good. As you start to creep forward, that sound does not return. The other three of you are standing there ready in case something happens. And as you're stepping forward, Goldie, you see that ahead of you, further into the forest, there seems to be a glimmer of some sort, a strange off-green type of eerie glow from something ahead of you. It almost looks like a lantern light or a candle light lighting something ahead.
I'll try to get a better look at it.
Okay. As you start to move forward, the brambles and the overgrowth here is very thick. To really go up and see what it is, you'd have to get a bigger distance from your party and kind of get out of sight and out of reach of them. Do you want to do that or do you want to wait?
Can you explain the mechanics of this token? Like
It works like a sending stone. You
okay,
just say
so then
Piper, and I
can try to find my way back to you.
And if I want to see what she's saying, unfortunately, I'll have to go into a trance, like
Sure.
Using like a sensory stone or something like
Gotcha.
that. So
Then, yeah, I mean, I have this tie back to my party, and I've got pretty good survival, so I think I can find my way back.
Okay. You do you let them know this is what you're doing, or you
Yeah.
just go?
I'll kind of like motion like the direction I'm going.
Okay. And you start to creep forward. As you do, please make another stealth test. Disadvantage.
Still quite good. That's a 15.
Okay. And as you continue to move forward, you start to get closer. You move in underneath some of the underbrush. There's a fallen tree that's partially overgrown with this strange black lichen that comes up out of the ground and wraps around it, almost like these bizarre fingers reaching up out of the ground, curling onto it. And as you walk in underneath that, it kind of sways and creaks and crackles a little bit underneath your feet, giving sound that seems to echo in this strange half-silent forest. And there's that reverberation of the sound first there and then there and then there as it ripples out from around. That green light continues to exist. It flickers slightly, almost like a slight breeze comes across a candle flame.
Do I see? I don't see any creatures or anything.
Nope.
Then I guess I will use the token to call to my party and say, "All right, all clear. Just be careful. There's some weird forest shenanigans happening."
I'll inform the others what I've heard. She wants us to follow.
Okay, shenanigans. That's a good weird, right? Not like
Sure.
she didn't sound distressed, did she?
No, she
Okay.
didn't sound distressed.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Let's
the three of
go.
you start to move in closer. Are you all being stealthy, or are you just...
Yeah, stealthily enough as my ability would let me do. So
I mean, I could try. I did
Yeah,
very
I
well
can-
last time.
I can try.
All right, I'll roll a stealth check. Let's see.
Disadvantage.
There's something
stealth
wrong.
check.
There's something wrong with this. It's just, and that's another natural one for a total of 3.
Oh,
are
no.
you wearing plate?
No, I don't have disadvantage. I have a +2. That's just bad luck.
Disadvantage stealth
Holy-
check.
Oh my gosh. You just saw what I just rolled, right?
Oh, well, you're not the only one that rolled a 1.
Oh no!
So for a total of 0.
I rolled a natural 20 plus 2, 22.
Wow.
Alrighty, so Piper has a 22, and Mayor and John both have natural 1s.
I have a 0.
A 0 total? I love it.
I have a
Does he
0.
say he's at a negative?
Wow.
I love when zeros get rolled. It's my personal favorite thing. No. it's so wild. Okay.
It's a talent in and of itself
I
to
think
get a
so.
It
0.
is.
I
It
think
truly
so.
is.
You should be proud.
Definitely. As the three of you start to move forward and you get to that area that Goldie warned you about, it does creak and it groans. And as they are coming up and behind Goldie, they're making a whole bunch of noise. They're knocking stuff over. There is things that as they move, they actually, as you guys move past them, they sway back into place and they creak and groan, almost like voices. Like just, it's eerie. And Goldie, as they are coming up to where you are, behind you, you see that green flame flickers again, and there was a slight mirage effect, like a shimmering that starts to peel away in the air, and you can see through the thicket, through this overgrowth, these black trees and shrubs are pulled partially away to reveal this old structure, impossibly old it looks like. It's got different stones and crenellations in it that have been warped and twisted by the stuff that grows up the side of it. I would call it plants, but you're not sure if it is. These things that grow up and seem to be pulling this building down. Chunks of it have been removed. These ruins that look like they were once opulent and nice have now been twisted and warped by this place. You know that this must be the library. It's the only thing that makes sense that would be here. And as you notice it and as you see that it is there, there is suddenly a figure that emerges out of the dusk, and with a bit of a strange snarl-like cry, it swings a bizarrely shaped scimitar at your face. Does a 14 hit you?
That is exactly my armor class.
Okay. You are going to take 7 points of slashing damage as it slices and you try to duck. It gleans off part of your forehead and a little bit of your hair comes off with it. And as it does so, you see these 4 figures all coming out of the gloom. They are nearby where all these ruins are. They are coming in an area that is starting to surround the 4 of you. They are lively built figures that have these strange masks upon their faces that almost look like twisted and warped skulls, horns, different sorts of jutting off of armor that barely clothes them. There is some tribal markings on their bodies as well. And in this moment, Mayor, you recognize what these creatures would be. Although they are not from your walk of life, you recognize these creatures are elves that perhaps have also been twisted and warped by this area as well. So we will switch on over to our battle map, which was provided to us tonight by our good friend Miko. Thank you so very much. As the 4 of you are going to be attacked by some strange tribal elves that are none too happy that you all are here in the dark forest.
I've already
outside
been
the ruins.
attacked, so
That's true.
I'm feeling
That's
very
true.
attacked.
And while we are loading that up, let's have everybody go ahead and roll initiative. I would think that one attack and everybody coming out was the surprise round, so we don't need to worry about any sort of other things, shenanigans, as we're saying, coming at you all.
That's our safety word, shenanigans, for tonight.
I am re-rolling this natural one because I am a halfling.
Halfling, indeed. Yep.
11 for me.
11 for John.
I got a
16.
5.
A 5 for Mare.
16.
16 for Goldie.
Hmm.
Piper?
19 plus 2, so 21.
21. And these elves are going on a 17. Okay, so Piper. As you see our battle map here, everybody is located. There are 4 elves. As I mentioned, they are depicted by different colored rings. If you want to try to say I attacked the red one, for example. Ahead of you, you can just see on the edge of the map there are where the ruins are positioned. You can't see anything within the ruins, however, so you're not sure. Maybe this is a mirage. Maybe this is the library that you seek. You're not sure. But Piper, in this moment, you have the quickest reaction time because when Goldie got attacked, you were semi-alerted from the bracelet that you created that something was amiss. So you are first to react, sir.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna produce the skull and whisper a tale from beyond.
Okay.
So
Yorick comes back out of your bag and
yep. Alas, poor Yorick. 4. Okay. That is the tale of the runaway. Target can immediately use its reaction to teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space it can see. When the target teleports, it can choose a number of creatures it can see within 30 feet up to it, using my charisma modifier, and they can use the same reaction.
Wow. So you're targeting yourself with this, then, I assume?
And I can target the others too.
Wow. So all of you are basically able to teleport 30 feet.
Right.
That you can see.
Wow.
Goodness gracious.
Yep.
Sorry, can we teleport as a bonus action or as a reaction?
Reaction.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
That's really good.
So Piper, do you wish to use that reaction to teleport now, or does it wear off at a time, or what's the kind of
No,
duration on that?
until we use it, basically. There's, it holds until I rolled the dice again, and then it would be a different tail, different effect. So
Very
I mean,
nice.
I would say that it would probably, I don't know, it's your call, GM. Do you want it to be for the encounter, or?
I think it would be basically you using it would be one time everybody gets to do that, basically.
Okay. All right.
I think the College of Spirits is pretty good. I don't think it's that good.
That good.
Unlimited
No.
teleportation would be a little
No, it's not
crazy for
unlimited. It
third
can
level.
only be used once. So
Okay, well, there you go.
yeah. It's not like
would
we're
say,
gonna
yeah.
go around teleporting around.
Right.
Let's see. Okay. That was my bonus action. My action is going to be let's see. Yeah, with this, I saw it attack Goldie, so this is hostile, and I am not happy about that.
Yeah, sorry, which one attacked me? Because none of them are really near me.
I probably should put people back where they were. I apologize.
Okay,
That's
sorry,
okay.
just to clarify.
There we go. Sorry about that.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, the one that attacked Goldie, I am going to cast Crown of Madness.
Okay.
And with that, he is probably going to have to make a save.
What kind of save is that?
I would imagine.
Wisdom or intelligence or something.
It's going to be a wisdom save.
Wisdom
a
save?
13. A 13 is going to be the DC.
Oh my goodness. He is not going to pass that with an 11.
Okay. All right. So you see a crown similar to that on Piper's head form on this tribal elf. And yeah, the target's eyes glow with madness. And yeah, I'm going to pick a target for him to attack.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I don't know if he does it this round or
I think he'll do it on his turn. Yeah.
on his turn.
Which is now, because they are next in the initiative order. So, yes, that elf directly in front of you, he comes in, he's got that weird serrated scimitar. It's got a strange, bizarre, broken off edge. As he swipes it at Goldie, he hits her. Then you see him kind of rear back and he kind of does a motion like this. You can't see the features of his face, but he turns and he looks around. And who is he trying to attack then?
He is going to attack the one encircled in red on the map.
Okay. Yes, the one who is a little bit up to the north of all of you, he looks like he has a much more ornate helm of some sort. His mask is much larger. You would guess him to maybe perhaps be the leader of this group of people. And so he moves over to him and he attacks him. So as he runs over there, it is going to be Goldie on deck, just to give you an idea while I'm speaking this here. He comes in, wow, with a 19 plus. My goodness, 19 plus 3. So he comes over and he takes that scimitar and he slices right into the leader's stomach and gouges out the front of it. The leader does a sound and he jerks back from the motion, bends over a little bit because he did not like that at all. And he is going to deal 4 points of damage to the leader. The other elves are going to actually take reactions and move as well because they're all doing their thing. The one who was up here in the white, who is just to the northwest of Mare, he actually pulls out a looks like a sling. The wrapping of it is actually attached to his arm though, so he moves his arm and he flings it, and as it comes at you, it's going to be a 17 to hit.
That is going to miss.
Okay. And as the small little ball, I guess you could say, as a small little rock.
Pellet or
Yeah, pellet. That's the word. Thank you. As the pellet flies out of it, you see that it is polished and it is groomed to be more dynamic, to fly through the air. And as it does so, you turn and it just whizzes by your face and disappears into the hedges nearby. The one that is down to the bottom, this one is depicted in green. He is going to actually move in forward, and this area that they're standing in, this kind of brushy area that he's in right now, is slightly higher. So he comes in and he jumps down a little bit into where everybody is at. He is going to attack twice. He's going to attack Goldie and he's going to attack John, one each. So, 2 4s. That's fun. So a 9 and a 9 are not going to hit. So he comes in, he swipes at you, Goldie, you duck underneath it, and then he takes that same scimitar, spins it up, and stabs up towards your face, John, and you just bring your hammer up and deflect it out of the way. Goldie, it is your turn. The leader guy, I'm going to say, is just a bit taken aback. He was not expecting this to happen, so he doesn't have a turn right this moment. So Goldie, what do you do?
Cool. Would you say that green is within 5 feet of John and I?
Yeah, it's the way the map gridding is, it's a little bit off, but yeah, he basically is, yeah.
Cool. Then I'm going to attack with my rapier, and because he's within 5 feet, I'm going to use my sneak attack.
Oh, perfect.
That's going to be an 18 to hit.
Definitely.
Okay, let me find my D8. Okay, so that's 5 on the D8, and then the sneak attack is another 5. So it's a total of 10 damage.
Beautiful.
And then I'm going to... I think I will hold my reaction to teleport until someone takes a swing at me. Because I assume it kind of works like Misty Step, right?
Pretty much, it's a Misty Step.
In essence,
Okay.
yeah.
So then I'll hold my reaction. If someone starts to swing at me, I will use it to get out of there.
Sure, you got it. Yeah, so as this guy attacked both of you, take your rapier and you stab right into his thigh, and he doesn't seem to flinch or anything, but you can tell he definitely felt it as you bury it halfway in and twist and rip it back out. John, as this guy is up in melee with you and with Goldie, and you knock his weapon away, what do?
I'm going to, as soon as the weapon is knocked away, bring the sledge back around and just swing for his chest with it.
Beautiful.
Does a 15 hit?
It does.
All right, and I'm going to use Divine Smite with that.
Okay.
Let me spend my spell slot. So that's my D10. You. There's that. And then D8, which I roll. So that is 18 points of damage.
Oh my.
And they don't
Yes.
happen to be either undead or fiends, do they?
Not that you can tell. Out of game, I'll say no.
Okay.
You, John, can't tell because of the
Cool.
masking they're wearing, but they seem to be moving lively enough like regular elves. At least the tales you've heard of elves. Your sledgehammer comes down in and cleaves right into this dude's face. The mask partially shatters as it hits into his forehead. It drives him down. There's a popping sound as the head gets strangely cocked as he crumples into a heap at your feet. And not good for him.
Hey,
That's
nice
one down.
team effort there, John Henry.
There we go.
Okay, yeah. Nope, that's fine. Go right ahead.
And again, these little markers are not skeletons popping up. This is just, hey, this guy died. That way we know. So, alrighty. Mayor.
Okay. So Mare looks back over at Goldie, knowing that she's already been swiped once. So she's going to move in between, or I guess if I don't fit in between, then like right there. And she's going to reach over to Goldie and just say, trust me. And I'm going to touch your shoulder, and your skin starts to, it feels like it ripples a bit, and it turns into sort of like a rough bark. And I cast bark skin. So now your AC is 16.
Nice.
Correct.
That's a
Hopefully-
plus. That's a +2 to my AC.
It just means that your AC can't be lower than a 16, whatever your AC was. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
yeah. And
spell.
then that's really all I've got. So I'm gonna. I guess I'll have my wand make my sword and shield become visible, and just that'll be the end of my turn.
Absolutely, yeah. And as you touch her, you all see, it looks like her skin gets all barkified, and you pull out the wand and you pull it down, and as you do, you have the sword, the shield ready. End of the first round. Pretty crazy stuff going on. Absolutely. So let's move on to the next one. Top of the round, it is going to be the Piper.
Okay. Yeah, I am still concentrating to keep that up. The Crown of Madness. Let's see. As far as combat goes, I don't think would combat break my concentration. What's your ruling on that?
Like if you attack somebody?
Mm-hmm.
No, not unless you do another concentration type spell.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use my movement to come by, I want to say, by Goldie and Mare. And I'm going to tell them, do not attack the one with the crown. And I'm trying to see where I'm going to position myself. Okay, like right about there. And and I'm just gonna use my movement to get in position to put the guy that I'm in control of between me and the chief. And I'm gonna hold my action for now.
Okay, yeah. You move over to there. Yeah, you give the warning, the little bit of battle tactical plan to your companions as you move through. Absolutely. The elves. The one who had to attack somebody else, Piper, that's gone now, or he continues to have to try to fight the leader?
He
Crown of
has to
Madness.
do another wisdom save
Okay.
each round.
Okay. This wisdom save is a natural 1.
Okay.
So yeah, he's still doing that.
And I command him to attack the chief.
Yes. Okay. So I'll do it. He's going to go ahead and attack the chief first. 5 + 5 is a 10. Not going to do it. He swings out with a scimitar again. The chief sidesteps out of the way, and the swing goes wide. As he gets back down to his feet, the chief just takes a moment where he looks at him, and he tilts his head slightly, and he takes his scimitar, and whoosh, the other elf's head flies and spins off into the hedge. And
I was going to say that guy was getting fired, but that's way worse.
Yeah, this leader
he had to make a budget cut.
Yeah, that's right. The one who, and then the leader, his head just slowly turns back to regard the rest of you, and it kind of does like this motion. The one who is off to the side, who had that weird sling, he loads another pebble into it and gets ready, and he launches that as well. It's going to come at, well, you know what? I'll do this. There's 4 of you. I'm going to roll a d4. We'll have fate decide. 2. 1, 2. Mare. Okay. That is a 21 to hit.
That'll do it. Yep.
Alrighty. You are going to take 7 points of bludgeoning damage as the rock dart thing slams. It gets through a little opening that you have as you pull your weapon and your shield into place, and it hits into your sternum, and it hurts.
Okay.
Oh gosh. That's right. That's it for the elves, because the other ones are dead. So Goldie, you are up.
I think emboldened with her new bark skin, Goldie's gonna run at the one with the white one, the one with the pebbles, and she's gonna try to stab it with a rapier.
Oh wow, just charging him. I love it.
Just charging him right there.
Gonna get all up in there.
I would love to try to use insightful fighting, if that's possible. So it's basically, as a bonus action, you make an insight check against the creature that contested by their deception check. And then if I succeed, I can use my sneak attack against him.
Oh, I like that.
Ooh.
Let's see. His deception, you said?
But I am still rolling with disadvantage, I believe, with the level of exhaustion.
That is true. All right. Well, he doesn't have any sort of speciality in deception, so it's just going to be based on his abilities.
And I'm re-rolling a natural 1 because I'm halfling.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm so glad you made Goldie a halfling. That has saved you so many times in this game.
Yeah.
We'll just say it's intuition. I roll a lot of natural ones. So my insight check was a 14.
A 14. Okay. A 14 is going to fail that by 1. He got a 15.
Okay.
So
then I will just
close.
make a regular attack.
Okay. That's too bad. That was juicy. That would have been awesome.
That's a natural 20, my friend.
Oh my
snap.
goodness.
A
Well, okay
25
then.
to hit.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So I didn't get sneak attack damage, but I will do 2d8
Mhm.
Yes.
plus 3. So
All righty.
that
Amazing.
is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Okay, we got a 6 and a 3. 9 plus 3, that's 12 damage
12
Nice.
damage. Excellent.
with my rapier as I just stab into his weird elven bones. I don't know.
Right. All right. Yeah. As you move forward, and yeah, you actually kind of do a feint yourself. So he actually goes to compensate for it, and yeah, you gives an opening that you stab right into, and he, like the other one does, he buckles over. His hand instinctively reaches down, tries to grab the rapier, but you pull it out, and you see it slice through part of his palm, and he looks like he is definitely feeling that one.
And then I'm saving my reaction if I get swung at.
Sure. And John.
John is going to remember that Piper said, "Don't hit the one with the crown." Is going to.
He's
run.
gone. He's
gone.
off.
Yeah, he's dead
Oh.
now. Yes.
Oh, never mind then. I'm going to.
The leader hit the one with the crown.
Cool. I'm going to run up to the leader then.
Okay.
Just sidle up, and as I'm running, cock the hammer back and just baseball swing it in an upwards arc.
There's Happy Gilmore,
Yes.
just a running swing.
Yeah.
As a bit of flavor, every time that he's about to swing, he is singing Poe Lazarus.
Oh,
Nice.
That is I can't read. That is a 21 to hit.
it will.
I'm not going to use Smite for this because I have to save some of that. For a total of 12 damage.
Oh, I like that.
Whack.
Yeah, it comes down, it hits his arm, and it buckles in a weird angle, and he just looks around. He's kind of bent in over on it, and as he looks to see what's kind of going on, Mare, you go ahead and take your turn.
Yeah, so Mare's gonna step over and stand on the corpse of her fallen elven forest beast,
Okay.
and she's gonna pull her sword up to make an attack. But as she's doing that, I'm gonna use the bonus action to cast spiritual weapon again.
Oh, yes.
So another big glowing sword, sort of shimmering blue with lovely radiant energy, will show up behind the big guy in red there. So just sort of like on the opposite side of me.
Mhm.
And so I will make the attack with that 22 to hit.
Oh, yes.
Okay, and that'll be 6 points of damage with that. And
That's
as
force damage?
yes.
Okay.
And as that's happening, I am raising up my sword to make an attack there. 15.
Okay. You swing forward with the 15, and that is not enough.
Okay.
He actually, the spiritual weapon hits him. He spins with it, and as he spins, you hear a sound as he pops his arm back in place from
Oh,
John Henry's
nice.
hit. And then he turns. He still has that sword that he killed his companion basically with. And as he finishes the spin and underneath the spiritual weapon, he knocks your sword aside. He stands there for a moment, looks at all of you in turn, and he seems to just roll his shoulders, kind of like John Henry did. And he brings the sword up, and he looks like he is ready for what comes next. Piper, do you think perhaps you can make him change his mind? It's your turn.
Okay. Yes. With that, yeah. Piper is going to. Why not? I got another spell slot. Yeah, dissonant whispers will appear in his head, so he'll have to do a wisdom save of 13.
Okay. Ooh, yeah, he's gonna pass that.
Oh, he passed? Okay.
Yeah, it was 18 plus. So
I think he takes half. I'm not sure.
Okay.
On a successful on a successful save, he takes half as much damage. So I'm going to roll the damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 15 is the damage, so half of that. So rounded, I guess.
So yes, we'll say 7. Okay, man, you guys are powerful. Alrighty. So, King Awesome Guy of the Elves here. He is going to attack, and what he does is he begins to dance that scimitar out in front of him in a flourish, and he attacks those who are nearest to him. He is going to attack both Mare and John Henry. 2 attacks coming at John Henry, 1 attack coming at Mare, as this guy begins to a little bit of a dance, a flourish, a whirling dervish, as it were. And it's going to be against John Henry. It's going to be a 17 and a 15.
17 hits, 15 does not.
Okay.
You also have a reaction.
That's true.
I do, except my only reaction would be an op attack.
Oh, okay. Well, the reaction I gave you, the Misty Step.
You can teleport away.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody has that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. Yeah. Can I just okay, weird statement. Can I Misty Step just to be beside the white one?
Yeah. Yeah, it's anywhere within 30 feet that you can see. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, so as his sword swings at the first one, you take the sledgehammer and deflect it away. And as he turns it, he goes to swipe into you. It goes to connect with your stomach, and you instinctively think yourself off out of the way. He swings through empty air as you evaporate over to the side. And as he swings through the empty air, he reverses the grip on the sword, and he swings up at you, Mare. And he's going to hit you, unfortunately, with a natural 20.
I was hoping to maybe also use my reaction.
Oh, this guy. Oh, man. This is clutch what you did.
Yes.
Yeah, no kidding. But also, to be fair, I was planning on using it before he was going to attack me. But
Sure.
Mare is going to sort of, seeing the attack coming, she's going to just I don't know, put all of her energy into not wanting to get hit, and Piper's spell takes effect, and she's going to just move herself over here.
Mm-hmm.
So she's, she gets in sight of him still.
Okay. And yes, he once again, the same thing. He swipes up through. It would be a move, had you stood there, it would be a move that probably would have severed your head as well. As he swipes through, empty air, as you pull yourself over to where you are currently at. And in this moment, he looks and he takes us all in again, looking very confused. Goldie, what do you do?
Does the white guy not go?
Oh, yeah.
It's cool if he doesn't.
No, you know what? Since you're that
It's
kid who's
cool
a
if
K
you
teacher, you
don't.
forgot to give homework. I will assign your homework. Here we go.
Oh no.
He just had that weird
Yeah, I'm
sling
definitely
thing.
that kid.
He has a weird sling thing that's attached to his hand. So he actually takes it, and there's for lack of a better description, he flings it around his hand a certain way. So now instead of being able to fling the pebble, it's like a sap. He's going to try to hit you with it. You were there before, so he's going to attack you. Oh my goodness. So the leader got a nat 20 and miss. This guy's going to get a nat 1 and miss.
Nice.
So yeah, as he tries to do this really cool thing, he swings at you, and Goldie, you're just too quick, too deft. You move out of the way. It swings through empty air. Now it is your turn to react. And what do you want to do?
Bounces off my bark skin.
There we go.
I look so much like dirt right now. It's like the dirty, it's dirty bark too.
Yeah.
So because there's an ally within 5 feet, I'm going to use my sneak attack.
Alrighty.
get advantage. I'm gonna re-roll that natural 1 again. Good
Oh, beautiful.
Lord, that is
Wow.
rough tonight.
That die's gotta go.
Yeah, does I've been mixing them up. Every
wow.
time I get a 1, I use a different one. Does a 14 hit?
A 14 hits these guys exactly. Yeah.
Awesome, cool. Then I will roll again. This is my rapier, so it's a D8, which is only 4. So 4. And then we'll do the sneak attack damage. That's going to be 10 sneak attack damage, so 14 damage.
And you take the rapier and you bury it all the way to the hilt in his stomach. And you, John, you see as you appear next to this guy, it pokes out through his back, this small little dart. And then she pulls it, and as she pulls it, he crumples as well. Another dead figure in the dark forest. You start to see that these creatures that are dying in the dark forest, the growth of the ground is starting to come up, and like fingers crawling over these figures are trying to grab them and start to pull them down in and grow over them, making them part of the growth here. And since that was Goldie's turn, John, it's your turn. The leader is looking around, trying to get an assessment of what you all are doing, what sort of strange magics you've brought into this place. So
Well, he's going to figure it out because I'm just going to running charge again. Two-hand swing with that sledgehammer.
do it.
Get it, John. Let's do it.
And if this does connect, I'm going to use Divine Smite again.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say a nat 20 is going to connect.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
No.
Nice.
And you guys are walking through these dudes. I love it.
Okay, so that's going to be 2 d10s that I'm going to roll.
Amazing.
It's going to be so much damage.
So that's 8, 10, 12, 13, and then my d8s. Yeah. 27 points of damage.
Oh, goodness. Alrighty. So,
Woof.
John Henry,
Paladins, man. Paladins.
Yeah.
Wild.
tell us how this looks, my friend.
So
Finish this guy.
as he's looking around, just what just sounds out is just the the high sheriff, and as the sound from the sledgehammer hitting his head connects, it just sends it careening off, and the sledgehammer swirls back and just back into the position on his back.
Total anime move.
That is
Hell
so
yeah.
cool.
I love it. I'm such a sucker for that. I love it. I
Oh,
love it.
man.
And I want the body to still stay, and John just
Yes,
Incredible.
absolutely. I love it. And
Goldie's going to run up and try to high five John.
John leans down to do it.
Low 5.
Yeah, I have to jump. To do it.
I love it. And yeah, the forest falls silent again. The sounds of battle fall away, and you look over towards the ruins. You see that there's a front entryway that is open. The pitted and rusted gate that is there has been caved in, partially overgrown by the foliage here. And you can see that somewhere from within, there is that that green flickering light that is beckoning you all still.
Is everybody okay? You doing all right?
Not a scratch. And
Okay.
as I pat Mare on the back, I'm going to do lay on hands
Oh, thank you.
for a total of. Actually, I'm just going to use my pool of that for. How low are you?
7 points down.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to give you 7 points.
Thank you.
I am
very
also
much.
7 points.
I can come over, pat you on the shoulder, and give you a little cure wounds.
I will go over and pat Piper on the shoulder, and nothing happens.
You get 8 points. So
Oh.
there you go.
I give one of them.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
I thought that's how it worked. It was like a sharing the wealth kind of
Yeah.
thing, but it doesn't seem anything.
Hey, I got an overwhelming
for
sense
you?
of satisfaction. So yeah,
I mean,
it works.
geez.
Also, how long does this bark thing last? Because I am digging this. Goldie's like looking at her arms and just like flexing.
It lasts about an hour. I can make it go away if you're done with it, but
No, I want to
keep it
keep it forever.
okay. We'll see what we can do with that. Are we thinking, are we here? Did we do it?
I think we're here.
It seems like it.
Well, should we check it out? I feel like maybe these forest guardians aren't the only thing protecting this space, perhaps.
As Mare says that, almost as if on cue, there is the distant sound. How?
Let's get inside.
Yeah.
Our friend is back.
And
I
you
would
all
think so.
enter towards the ruins, and you see that, like I said, that light, that green light flickers from within. As you step forward, you can see the doorway is open. There are two smaller, what seems to be windows, probably were once stained glass. They are shattered and fallen away as well on either side. And you can see that that front entryway is open. And as the four of you step forward, marching order, is there a certain way you do this? Or
I'll take point again.
okay. John, you step in first, followed by
I mean, Mare, you want to check it out with your arcane magic eyes?
I absolutely do. I'm gonna throw up. I'm just gonna throw up. No, I'm gonna. I'll cast detect magic.
Also, keep in mind that Henry and I are still disadvantaged on all of our ability checks. So
That's true. You are. That's rough. Okay. Let me know if you guys want to do anything. Maybe I could help you with that. But in the meantime, I'll cast detect magic.
okay. You cast detect magic. Your wand does a little flourish in the air. The magic comes out, this blue light that trickles out over everything. And as it does, it coats every surface of this keep, this library within here. You can feel strong eminence of power coming out of it. And it is necromantic.
Okay. So this place has big dead guy energy. I guess just
Big
be wary.
DG energy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there any specific like item or place within the ruins that pings it a little bit more, or is it just everything is washed with it?
Everything is strong. There is something else that you get a feeling of that's partially covered by the necromantic magic here because it's so strong. Go ahead and make an Arcana check for me, please.
Absolutely. 15.
That small little glimmer of magic that's different, you reach out and you grab a hold of it, and you could tell it's it's divination magic.
Okay. And is that it's on a specific item spot?
It seems to be if you were enter within, it's
Yeah.
just past the opening and a little bit ways in. But it's near.
Okay. I want to look around and make sure that there's not anything obviously trapped or, skeleton hands or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
But-
other than the growth that has come up and has completely surrounded the elves at this point and made them just look like part of the ground here, there's nothing else that is threatening.
Okay, yeah, I will I'll walk in and take a look and see if I can get any more information about what is going on there.
Definitely. And as you walk in, what you see is that within here, this front area that you step within is if I can get it to erase here. Oh, hang on a second. How did I do this before? Oh, right here, fog button. Sorry, newbie to the Owlbear Rodeo. You step in and you see that it is a semi-dilapidated area ruins. There are what look to be pillars that were up holding up parts of the ceiling in here, have also been smashed, crackled, and brought down. In the center of the room is a strange giant astrolabe of some sort. You can see there are multiple different globes within it. They look like they probably once spun somehow, but now they're all broken and pitted and all twisted in on each other, almost as if a giant, large, unseen creature crushed it somehow. And you can see that just past that, there is, in this area here, another archway that leads within. And just past that archway, a little bit of gloom that you see within here, there is a semicircular room with a large pedestal that is in the center of it. And on that pedestal, you see a tome. The tome looks ancient, but yet it looks bright, golden, and untouched by the dark magics that is here. You can feel the divination magic emanates from the book. And in this moment, as you look upon the prize that you all wish to claim, what you need to save the princess Aurora back in Loron, Maine, you feel that dark necromantic energy start to creep in around you all. It's almost like the walls and the ceiling, the parts that remain, are closing in and coming alive. There is a strange, discordant, feminine voice that emerges from somewhere. You have come to find what I seek. You will die trying. And the entire inside of the ruins gets bathed in darkness. And we'll find out what happens next time, everybody.
Nope,
Wow.
don't like that. Don't like that.
Oh, yes,
man.
we are here, and here is our prize. But first, we must face some sort of unknown guardian. So please join us next week, and we'll find out what happens. Will the party get the book? Will they survive? Will they get rid of their disadvantage? And will they have more shenanigans with beans? We'll find out. But this was great. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Again, I am Kevin, and I am found at KevranGames online, and I also run the Game Night Heroes podcast. Let's take a moment to say goodbye to everybody real quick, remind you who we all are, and we'll get out of here and let you all enjoy the rest of your beautiful evening. So, Beth, take us away.
I'm Beth. You can find me on social media at Beth Masco. Very glad to be here. Slightly stressed about what's happening.
Thank you. Well, we are stressed right along too. So, Rachel.
I'm Rachel, screen name Aria Galaxy. You can find me on Twitter at Carollo_Rachel. And just so excited for more beans shenanigans next week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Javante.
Hi, I'm Javante. You can find me on my Twitter at Javante, JHEV as in Victor, AUNTE. Hope to see you all again next week. I'm really excited to see what we get up to.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. And finally, David, who are you? Where you at?
I am David, and you can find me on Twitter at DNDevious for Devious Games. And yeah, this is the Piper signing out.
Aha. Awesome. Thank you so very much. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Superior Adventurers Guild, for letting us have some fun Monday Night Mayhem. And we will see you all next week. Until then, be kind to each other, and don't forget to tuck in your kids at night. So, bye, everybody. Thank you so very much.